from the 6th of December all the way to the 23rd of December. Join the event and a complete task to get a random epic skin. It's an epic skin, folks, for free. Thank you for your unwavering support and for being part of this incredible journey. 1.5 billion.
Let me tell you, LaFell, every time I get into the game, and especially for those of you who've been playing for a very long time, the one thing that annoys people is, why are you using the base skin? This time around, you're going to get a free epic one, so at least you could swag out with the rest of us pompous pricks.
Yeah, you got to go out in style, right? I mean, now's a good time. You said 1.5. That's a good time to rank up. Maybe I can hit Mythic finally with all the brand new players in the pool.
He's being very optimistic, Gideon. Here's the thing: if you play solo queue, then it's an experience for sure. It's very fun. It's very engaging. It's very immersive, Gideon.
I mean, yeah, we are the medium server after all. We've upgraded! We've upgraded! That's a plus point, but at the same time, I mean, with today's games, anything could happen. And I think we need to start setting expectations because honestly, I'm really not sure with the inconsistent performance of these teams.
Right now, let's look at the brackets to tell the story of what has happened and what could have happened. All right, right now we're looking at the knockout brackets here where no elimination so far. It's all about bracketing here. And now we are at the stage where we're looking at the bottom half of the bracket. Selangor Giants against NIP Flash. Whoever wins that one will go up against RRQ Hoshi. However, the ones that have lost will be eliminated. Same story with Vamos against Team Spirit. Wins, you go up against Falcon. Lose, you get eliminated. Let me tell you, gentlemen, for me, this is one of those situations. If you lose, you lose, and even if you win, you kind of lose.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's make it or break it right now. The stakes are higher than ever. I can tell why you guys are nervous, right? I was there with you. I flew into Malaysia, and my team was already gone.
Oh, well, honestly, I don't know. Even if your team was still part of it, if it was a lower bracket run, it really is scary. Because usually in these M series, you have an optimistic favorite, and then you have a guaranteed favorite. I'm looking at that upper brackets, and I'm like, honestly, I don't want to see any of these teams in the lower brackets.
This is crazy. When we're in the top 8, you kind of don't want to face against anyone. But now we got to look at the schedule for today. We have 2 best of 5 for you folks. Vamos going up against Team Spirit. Afterwards, it is going to be Selangor Giants going up against NIP Flash. And again, all the matches for today is going to be a best of 5.
It's elimination day. These teams will play with single best of 5 to determine whether they move on to meet an even more difficult team or instantly get eliminated. And I would say that all of our 4 teams, especially playing in these 2 best of 5s, all have the potential to make it further, maybe even top 4, but it's going to come down to execution.
Well, if it's anything like yesterday, we had 2 best of 5s as well, and those both went the distance. You thought it was going to go to one side with the 2-0, and then the other team bounced back, that rubber band effect, and I myself am hoping we see the same thing. I know you guys are a little nervous. There's a lot on the line for you guys.
Here's the thing. If Malaysia wins the first game, then it'll be a 3-0. But if you're already losing 0-1, then it's like, okay, what about a 3-1? And then what about a 3-2, you know? But again, for me and Gideon, it's going to be hot racing for all the games today. But for you, Easy, what is the match to watch for you?
Oh, honestly, both of them are full of excitement. I think with Vamos and Spirit, Vamos took down BTK, you know? So it's going to be entertaining to watch them, but also Team Spirit because the growth of EECA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they've been doing so good. They've been in so many series. They have Sawa over there, a veteran player. And we got to see if they can get the job done up against a team like Vamos, who's been around as well with the revamps of Homeboys. And it's going to be some good games.
It is going to be some good games, and honestly, I'm hoping that the teams are bringing their best. Because some of the teams in some of the series that we saw previously, especially in the decider bracket, some even coming from the upper bracket as well, have been a little, I would say, less than satisfying. So, if this full best of 5, if it does go all 5 games, I'm expecting a lot of it to come through the draft.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like we're all in agreement here, where we're looking at M6. The players are all good.
Oh, yeah.
It really does come with the draft where you know, certain drafts put the player in a disadvantageous situation where winning is great, but it's so hard to do.
You know, and that's interesting, too, because I feel like Vamos, at least so far, they've been very experimental, right? They've even
yes, that's one way to put it.
They've thrown in the Hellkurt into the roam position, and they pulled it off. You know,
once.
Literally once. But do you think the higher we go on this ladder, do you think riskier drafts like that will be as effective?
No. I really feel like when it comes to elimination, the only one where you can risk it is game number 1. After game number 1, it's all about understanding your opponents and then play around them.
I think that's a fair point. Again, it's scary to do it right now, but game 1, all right, let's see whether it's going to be experimental or not.
Right now, I'm going to hold both of you to your opinions because right now we actually have to go to the backstage because we got interview with the players behind. I think it's with Poji. So, Poji, what you got?
Hello guys, and now we're here, me, Poji, and also we got Zons and Nets from Wamos team. So first question to Zon.
Yes.
Last year, you met with Team Kid Bomba, then lose against them. How do you feel for this year? Can you win against them?
Yes. I very confident today we're gonna win against them.
Mungkin boleh bagi pedas dan panas sikit. Tak apa, bagi je bahasa Melayu. Nanti kita translate kasi tajam dan panas. Sikit hati.
Kalau bahasa Melayu boleh bagi net. Saya hanya bisa English, guys.
Wow, English people. Okay. So for next. This is your time. You're about to go against Hiko, which is the only player in M6 that gets Savage. What do you want to say to Hiko?
Hiko, good luck. Good luck.
So what do you want to say to Kid Bombay and all of his team? Actually, for the team spirit itself. Team spirit, go back and practice more. No. No one. Next good boy.
Good boy. Lepas menang, boleh bad boy.
Bila menang boleh bad boy. So, mungkin kata-kata terakhir sebelum kita bermula. Final word before we start the games on.
Doakan kita orang menang dan insyaAllah Malaysia boleh.
Nice. Both of them squad macam struggle sikit. Sekarang kalau kita nak fokus lebih tak boleh. Nak marah, nak taunting atau nak spicy pun cannot. But then again, we hopefully got something nice from Team Spirit side. So, let's go. Apa kata Eterna? Let's go.
Surprise, guys! I'm back here for M6 as a courtside reporter, but that's not the only surprise because right now we have Kid Bomba as well as Sawo over here. And now we want to ask, earlier on we had a little bit of an interview with Team Vamos and they said that they're going to be confident to be able to take your team down. Now, let's hear your level of confidence. Let's start with you, Kid Bomba.
100% confident.
All right, what about you? Same. All right, 100% confidence. I mean, you guys have been able to take down them in the past, you know, a little bit of a snapback into M5. Now, what do you think would be different this time around?
Nothing.
All right, what about you?
Just saying.
Just the same. Okay, we're getting a lot of confidence here. I'm wondering how Team Vamos are feeling right now. But do you have any final words maybe to your fans around the world or maybe some words to Vamos?
Good luck to Vamos. Thank you for supporting Team Spirit.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
There's really nothing else you want to say, guys?
Good luck.
Just good luck? Okay, fine. You know, predictions then.
After the win.
What about predictions? The series.
3-0.
3-0.
Maybe 3-1.
3-1. All right. What's going on? I thought things would be a little bit more spicier, guys. Okay, there's a lot of respect going up in the... Oh, what? Do you see that? They're like, no. What do you have to say about that? Yeah, it's fine. Keep it cool. It's fine.
For sure.
All right. For sure. Okay. Okay, full respect. Maybe after. Maybe after. So thank you so much, Kid Bomba. Thank you so much. Sawo, good luck. And we're going to throw it back over to the panel to break it down.
Good?
What he said, same thing.
Okay. This match. What do you guys think?
Very good match.
Very good match. What about you?
Good match.
Good match. I see.
What's up with these players, dude? What is up with them?
It's elimination, okay? They're just like, let's play it safe.
Let's play it safe.
When we win, then we can show off. But now we got a poster here coming up for you guys. So let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this. All right, there we go. Igniting team spirits. Spirit. They're the last hope for the West. And heck, the only non-SEA team here. So a lot of pressure here. Gideon, you feel like a lot of pressure?
I think that, honestly, I feel like it's a lot of pressure coming into this particular game. I understand where the players are coming from, but I feel like I was expecting a little bit more trash talk because these are very big personalities. And yes, it is the last bastion for the West. And even for Vamos, they've been knocking out a lot of Western teams.
It's a strategy by Team Spirit.
What?
You want to know why?
Why?
Every team that trash talk Vamos, they become stronger. Vamos become stronger. So when you treat them nicely, they're not all that great.
They don't want to feed the beast.
So it's something that you guys can try next time.
Oh.
Yeah, just be nice to them.
That's the secret.
Exactly, just be nice and then they're like, okay.
So we can't say Malaysia easy server.
No, just say like, oh, you guys are okay.
Man, hardest server ever. Never played a server that has been this difficult ever in my life.
Okay.
That's the strategy. Against Vamos, just smother it up. Just butter them up. and then they'll be like, well, okay. As we're talking, we're going to look at the players using the ROG Phone 9 Pro, testing out their ping. As you guys see, the players are on stage, and they really do need it because it's honestly a good question coming in from Wheezy. Will we see some cheese coming in from Vamos, where we see like the Hellkirk picks and the such?
I mean, yes, but I need to see the logic behind it, right? Everything we've seen from Pubs in the Swiss stage had some sort of concept towards it. Maybe the execution wasn't as clean.
In Malaysia, we have one answer to those kind of questions.
What could it be?
Sebab boleh, dik.
Okay, you got to break that down for me.
So if someone asks you, right, okay, what about a Hellkirk? And then someone like Gideon comes in and is like, okay, what's the logic behind it? And then you say, because I can. So that's it.
That's it.
Sometimes that's all you need. Like, why do you paint your house black? Because you can.
Because I can, little bro. That's
exactly. Fries in a little. Okay, you know, I need Leo. Leo is more.
He's got the ball rolling for that one. He's got the ball rolling.
He's the Rizzler. He has all this Gen Z talk. Where are we on again?
We're
match highlight. let's talk about a match highlight here because again, looking at both teams, this is an elimination match. So this is going to be a very tough best of 5.
ESEA регион не показывал себя так хорошо на М-серии, начиная с М1 до М3. Только недавно на чемпионате М5 они совершили камбэк, они заняли 4-е место. Но после MSC многие забыли о нашем регионе. Многие сказали, что наш регион слабый.
After the last top 12 MSC and an M5, I said we'll come back stronger, so I want to keep my word. I'm going to be bringing back the bomber mentality by showing everybody that actions speak louder than words. I hope more players from Western Europe come forth and show that they can beat stronger teams and going to be able to showcase the strength of European teams.
If Team Spirit wins, it will be a sensation for the world of Mobile Legends. It will mean that the ESEA region is as strong as Malaysia and Indonesia and Philippine region.
That's a triple for Hiko! That's a double! Oh! What a maniac! See, running around, Hiko! Gets the savage!
And after so many years, Sawa and Sunset Lover will have this trophy.
I really want Sabo and Sunset to be champion. They've been playing for such a long time. You know, I really want to help them get to the top. So much unnoticed talent just getting wasted with time because you can't escape time. Sawa's 25, Sunset's 23. You really want them to win something by now, you know? You really want to show everybody that they're also top tier.
Здорово, Team Spirit. Я первый раз в жизни вижу наш регион в такой шикарной и обалденной форме.
Мы топим за вас всем регионом, следим за вашими каждыми катками.
В Сбере нет сильнее дракона, Спирит — гордость региона.
Team Spirit is welcome to top 8.
I think every team understands here that it's kind of like a war. You need men in war, so I'm trying to be the winner of the war.
there's so much to break down. First of all, the Bomba mentality. Actions speak louder than words. But his words are pretty loud as well, as we can tell. And wanting a W for Sunset Lover as well as Sao, and then saying that they're 25 and 23. Excuse me, but that's still very young.
They are extremely young, but especially in a mobile sport like this that goes at such a fast pace, I would say that the duration for a majority of players is a lot shorter in comparison to some of the other games out there.
Well, effectively, they're the best in the West right now, right?
Yep.
The last standing West region. And this is a team that we've seen since the beginning, right? They've been here since M1. The only M series they missed was what, M4?
Yeah.
And here they are again for another shot at glory, and you can definitely tell the hunger's there.
Well, I'm hungry too, but not talking about that. Both teams are ready. So after this, we will invite both teams coming up on stage for their best of 5 elimination match.
This team's journey served as a major roadblock for teams traveling from the West. Turkey's champion was Uno. NA's king was Dos. As they return on stage, they look to claim the trace. Everybody, say it with me. Hola, vamos!
For Gallant Spirit, there can never be defeat. An old adage says, as they face the Western Team Slayers, the final bastion of the Western Frontier seeks to prove that they may be bent, but never broken. They are Team Spirit!
And now, introducing the coach coming in from both teams, Coach Pops and Coach Pauibam from Vamos, Coach Friend and DK Lana from Team Spirit. Both teams, we've seen, they can definitely go the distance when it comes to the draft. A lot of picks have been picked throughout this M6. Do they have anything more? Are they hiding anything from this matchup? And now coming into this matchup, Vamos as well as Team Spirit. When it comes to Team Spirit, we gotta look at Hiko. Hiko Mania, the only one that got a Savage. But going up against Nets, that's gonna be very interesting because you got a long-range marksman player of Hiko going up against Nets, where his range is more mid-range.
Yeah, he is a little bit more mid-range, but at the same time, it's a little scary, right? As much as we want to say that, maybe it's his time to actually pop off in lane, he's going to need a lot of support, and that's why I'm looking towards Chibi to make that happen.
And now we got to look at Chibi here, the jungler of Malaysia that has been around since MPL Season 7. But looking at his achievements here, silver in the 32nd SEA Games, MPL MY Season 12 champion, Season 13 runner-up. Unfortunately, MSC only 5th to 8th place, and MPL MY Season 14 2nd place. And he wants to make sure that at least for M6, the minimum, he wants top 4 here. Steph.
Top 4. I mean, it's one of the Malaysian teams to try and get it done, right? There's a lot of regions that have been knocked out. Malaysia still having 2 teams to get the job done this far in the knockout phase.
Yeah, now we got to look at a head-to-head here between both teams. And we're looking at the jungler here, both Chibi as well as One Shot. If we're looking at the numbers, honestly looking at the KDA, One Shot has a little bit more. I feel like the game on the Fanny has definitely got him a lot of KDA on that game. But if we're looking at the gold per minute as well as average turtle, Chibi has been doing amazing, where I kind of feel like this is a testament to his retribution ability. Even in losing games, he somehow finds ways to get turtle and lords.
That's the crazy part about Chibi, right? Initially, even before this, M5, he was already looking to be Turtle Mania Lord Destroyer every single time. However, in that matchup, that was against Magister. Coming into M6 with One Shot, he's definitely stood out compared to the rest with his flexibility, but more importantly so, the way the team plays around him.
Yeah, we've been seeing, at least so far within the draft, it's had such a heavy impact on the results of the game. And we know when it comes to Vamos, they like to get a little experimental, more in the roam setting than the jungle. And now it's, are they willing to take that gamble up against the last team standing in the West?
But for you guys at home, you guys can scan the QR code to redeem your prizes. And we're talking about stats here. Vamos has a 90% first Lord rate. Out of all their games, 9 out of 10 times, Vamos is the first to secure the Lord, and 70% first turret rate as well. So looking at the objectives, Vamos honestly has been looking amazing, and now we're jumping into the drafting phase between Team Spirit going up against Team Vamos. This is the game where you may experiment a little bit, but a reminder, man, this is where you set the tempo. This is where you set your momentum. Vamos, first pick. Team Spirit, second pick. And looks like Vamos, they ban out the Fanny, the Luyi, as well as the Hilda for Team Spirit, betting out the Jushin, as well as the Glue.
So far, we've been seeing a bit of a turnaround when it comes down to blue side and red side from Swiss stage, from the wild card, even with a slight increase in red side win. Second pick for those who don't know. And most of the time, it just comes down to no matter what you look for, unless it is Suyo coming in from blue side, there is so much counter interaction from red.
Yeah, and then you also get to see heroes like the Cho may walk in there, could be flex as a safety option. We know when it comes to the gold laners, especially Nets, he likes to play a little bit closer compared to Team Spirit's Hiko, the young prodigy.
Suyo is open, Bruno is open as well. And so far, if I'm not mistaken, Hiko is the only gold laner that has not used the Bruno, even when it's open. So that's also an interesting point to talk about here. And Vamos, again, Net's specialty isn't really long-range marksmen like the Bruno. He does like the carry, the Harif, those that plays like a fighter kind of range.
I mean, we say that he plays at a fighter kind of range, but Bruno really excels in those moments to clutch it out. Because again, if we're talking about heroes who can have sudden bursts of HP regeneration, in this case, lifesteal, Bruno usually follows that lane. So they're going to first pick it this time around. They're not going to experiment it and deny it off of Hiko. I would only assume that now, TS, they're going to be looking to kind of set up for a Beatrix comp, maybe a Granger.
Hey, you know what? Listening to the crowd, I think they approve of this pick, Steph Weezy.
I think they do too, and for good reason, right? Bruno has just been very effective so far in M6, but there's been some answers. Some teams choose to ban it out, others choose to work around it. We've seen an Angeline come out in the past. We've seen other things like the Granger to possibly counter it out, or even the Beatrix. So there's still some options on the table to be able to give Nets a little bit of a harder time. But it's interesting seeing Nets run on this Bruno, right? It's a little bit further, especially when you get that Malefic gun to be able to work in his favor. Can definitely be a challenge in the gold lane.
I do think there's a bit of a relationship here, right? Because now that we kind of know where Vamos is leaning in towards that gold lane, we can expect a couple of things from a Team Spirit. Number one, the Beatrix and as well as the Ranger. It doesn't have to come out now, so I want to see how they want to build around that. And Matilda and as well as Suyo is a very strong opener for this team.
Right now, looking at the draft, there's two good junglers here. Joy is good against the Suyo, but the Fredrin is good for the Bruno. The Fredrin can defend the Bruno in very sticky situations, and when you have a Fredrin, you're allowed to give some of your farm to the other carries of your team. So now the Matilda, Suyo as well, and Steph Weezy, you mentioned both the Beatrix as well as the Granger, and arguably that's one of Hiko's best heroes.
Yes, it is one of Hiko's best heroes, but at the same time, I was hoping that maybe the jungle spot could be a little bit more flexible here. I expect Vamos to maybe even lean into the Joy a little bit more. Oh, actually, wait. This is a different side of them. This is interesting because I was expecting, if Joy shows up, we're expecting Belleru. But with an early Matilda pickup here, it looks like Vamos has came in prepared for this first phase.
You know, it's interesting because I would have said an Eve could have been slotted in for the side of Team Spirit. But now that you're going up against a Hayabusa and a Sicilian, first of all, Sicilian's going to fight from afar. So it's going to be hard to get it inside of that RWM. And then you have a hero that's very effective of getting to the back line with that Hayabusa. So it may be a little bit of a challenge for Team Spirit.
Let me just say, if Team Spirit doesn't pick up their gold laner here, probably going to get banned out. So they pick up the Granger very, very smart, because I really see a future where Vamos is pretty okay with banning both Beatrix as well as Granger. But now, Team Spirit, what are the options? Because we've seen the Sicilian Carmilla combo, but is that something that Team Spirit will respect?
Well, it's a little hard to say. Yes, it is a very interesting combo, but at the same time, I feel that right now that they've already secured their jungler, the question is, how are they going to take control over the lane? You see the Sicilian, even if you play with the RWM, there's a good chance that, at least from Vamos' side, they could turn into a pure dive composition. And not to mention, Hylos hasn't been touched just yet. I'm expecting one of these teams to get rid of it for the sake of their gold laners.
Yeah, just to touch on that, that's where I was looking too. The Hylos could be very effective here, especially into the hands of Team Spirit, considering you're going up against an assassin. You want a hero that can, you know, maybe you have to stay in the XP lane now since you have the Matilda, but you can still invade effectively to kind of slow down that Hayabusa on these objectives.
I mean, now we see the Carmilla ban. There is, I mean, we've seen it. The Moonlight Waltz, really effective combination. hey, Camilla, just do whatever you want. Worst comes to worst, I'll just suck you back in, put you in a safe spot, and then we can start playing with the rest of the team. So at least from the side of Team Spirit, great preparation in terms of previous drafts we've seen from Vamos. But now that we are seeing the Valentina getting banned out, I would only imagine that they want to really double down on this dive.
Something that we have to see is looking at the lineup from Team Spirit. They're looking very strong in lane here. Granger is pretty strong in lane against the Bruno, but having the Matilda as well as the Suyo, whatever mid laner that they pick up, they'll be able to move around the map very, very effectively, especially to the side lane. So this is something that Vamos has to be careful of. Whatever EXP laner that they have and the roamer that they have need to be able to either withstand the speed of the rotations or be able to slow it down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little tricky, but there still are some options on the table. The Aurora's available. We've seen that kind of sneak up into the scene. The Vexana is still up for grabs right now. But we still also got to see what's going to be put in the XP lane for this Farza too. That's definitely a wise option, especially with the Wings by Wings. There goes that Cho ban though. I was wondering when that was going to get knocked off the table, which really leaves this Hylos up for grabs.
Or Gato Kacha, another pick that Zorn has been using a lot.
Both of which are real good here, but at least for Vamos' side, they're less worried about the Gato in comparison to the Hylos. The Hylos denies you, especially when it comes down to nets, that space to play with. Walking out of it and forcing you to use your slide tackle from sticky situations puts you at odds against the rest of TS, and not to mention, they might even consider just going for Purify at this point of time, but we don't know just yet. As you mentioned, LaFell, the EXP lane matchup, I think, is going to be the big difference maker. Somebody needs to have Concussive Blast, and I would only assume that Vamos wants to focus on their support first.
Yeah, something that is very interesting here, the fact that Vamos is on first pick, they can't really flex their EXP. We can't see something like a Benedetta all of a sudden to match up against Kit Bomba in the EXP. Kit Bomba so far has been using those set heroes, something like an Arlet, so some kind of crowd control enabler for the team, especially now that Sao is on that Matilda, they need some form of initiation. So this is going to be very interesting for Kit Bomba. He can pick up something like the Hylos, a very good front line, but it looks like, yep. He's going to pick up the Hylos. They're going to prioritize just big bodies for Hiko.
Now, a couple of responses from Vamos' side. Either they can go for two setting heroes for both Roam and EXP to kind of force out a lot of spells, and they know that even if one fails, Matilda can pull them out. CC is another good option, but that's assuming that they're going to hard win that lane and actually put resources on that side of the map, which is something that we haven't seen teams do too often. They get a little greedy. They want to win every single lane rather than just focus on two.
You know, and the question is, does Vamos go experimental? Because we have all this in theory. But time and time again, Vamos is a team known to draft outside of the box, right? So I'm really anticipating maybe even the Katat sneaking up in here. It's still available, could be flexed in the Roam or the XP, which would give him a little bit of versatility. There goes the Katat we were looking for alongside the Jawhead.
All right.
So looking for a pickoff here, Gideon.
Yeah, they are looking for pickoff, but they want to play some form of early game. The last time we've seen a similar composition from this from Vamos was when they were up against S2G, and we saw a lot of macro feints to actually snowball that early game. TS, at this point, it's about lane control. If they can control the lane, then the early game is a free bypass.
Now, honestly, this is a very smart EXP lane pickup by Team Spirit because we saw the amount of pressure on the EXP with the Hayabusa, so they're trying to mitigate that a little bit. But now they got to focus on Hiko, making sure that he doesn't get caught. And now, time to draw the beat of the flash. Looks like it's going to be a Joy. Where's the Joy going? Is it going to be a Joy mid? Or Joy, EXP, and then Matilda mid?
Oh, look, I thought Vamos was the experimental one, but looks like it's going to be Team Spirit.
Joy mid!
This is going to be a wild one. Didn't expect that from Team Spirit.
Well, looks like it's time to drop the beat of the flash. Thank you very much to our panelists. But now we're throwing over to Brigida as well as Merkel to call the match.
I love the energy from LaFell, and I'm definitely carrying it over because this is a very important match between the only remaining team from the West up against the so-called Western team Slayers. Welcome to the caster desk. This is Brigida and Mirko, and we're about to find out what's about to happen in game number 1. What are your thoughts on this surprise Joy in the mid lane by Team Spirit?
You want to know a fun fact?
What?
Right after MSC, I spoke to Bamba. They were trying to find a new jungler for Team Spirit, and he said Sunset Lover might be the guy to take the jungle role. So, hey, I think they are not too surprised about this pick. They know how good Sunset Lover is on the Assassins. Now it's time to prove the world. Let's see if Sunset Lover can pull it off.
Yep, I'm expecting a lot of very aggressive rotations, especially with this Joy in the mid lane. Wave clear definitely wouldn't be a question anymore. So it will be very important for Vamos to keep their side lanes in check. But it seems like they're also being very careful about that. early leashes coming in from Team Vamos. So we'll see. I mean, it's not just the Matilda, which is high in mobility, right? It's also the Joy. So they can really move quick around the map. And again, the panel also mentioned it earlier. There's little to no kill threat in terms of their XP laner. Kid Bomba right now, it's time for him to show that Bomba mentality. This is a high loss. You won't be able to pick him off that easily.
Yep, definitely not. Especially with the Matilda, yeah, it's going to be really tough. Chibi looking for the early game steal, invade into the enemy jungle. By the way, if you guys want to steal some XP, or rather just claim some XP, go ahead and check out that M6 pass one-shot. Already over to Zorn. Sawo was initiated on earlier. Both the junglers, one-shot, maybe able to get first blood. There you go, one-shot. Claiming it early on, first minute.
And there was no one else who could do anything in that situation. Zorn didn't even decide to use the flicker just yet. It seemed like he just accepted his fate. But where's the trade just now for Team Vamos? It seems like it's more of them just being very careful, and this is a surprise. Team Vamos, as far as I know, they have the highest first blood rate, but it seems like they're the team that we're seeing play a little bit more patient, more focused on letting Nets get his farm, because this is, again, Hiko that we're talking about, so there has to be some respect towards that gold lane.
Now let's take a look at the emblems here. It's the Impure Rage, so quite normal so far. Nothing really crazy. The Temporal Rain as well. Does look like for Bomba, he will help get a bit more prio in the mid lane. And both of the teams actually just setting up for a neutral objective. Bomba with the Revitalize, already the glorious pathway to another retro battle. Whoa! One shot, so able to get it. Sunset Lover jumping in the back line with a Vengeance to end the electrifying beats. Zorn very low, last shot over. Unable to find it. Sunset Lover still wants to go aggressive, invading the enemy jungle with this Joy mid.
And I mean, that definitely wasn't something Team Vamos would have had an easy time dealing with. Their roamer wasn't level 4 just yet. Smooth also isn't level 4 just yet. So they didn't have as much resources compared to Team Spirit in terms of taking that turtle. And that was something we definitely saw, because Team Spirit, even though they were able to poke, or even though Kid Bomba was very, very low, he received the he received the ejector and was thrown under the turret, he was still able to throw out and put out that glorious pathway just to zone and even keep all of the members of Team Spirit intact. So now they're clearly in the lead so far up against Team Vamos. They're yet to find a single pickoff even with the Jawhead in their lineup.
This has become a pretty good answer to— oh, what is that damage? That was just a Soul Sever, to hold on to Soul Sever. All right, yeah, Vamos have to respect Spirit's damage right now. They're scaling to that mid-game power spike really well, and it's exactly how Gideon put it. If Team Spirit can actually win in the individual lanes and translate it over to neutral objective wins, it'll be very tough for Vamos, because usually it's okay with the composition with Sicilian to be behind here. But the fact that Spirit have so much dive and there's no real response if Sunset Lover jumps in because of the Vengeance, it'll be very difficult. Unstoppable Force, one shot just blinks out of it. An ult baited out.
Yeah, and that's also perhaps why Team Vamos, they feel a little bit limited in terms of the movement that they can do, because who would have thought that they'd have to go up against the Joy in the mid lane matchup? Like, probably even Warlord didn't think. He would have just probably played it very, very safe, but that's the ejector.
It's only onto Bomba though. Sanguine Claws will catch him. That's the full chain CC. Sunsilver picks up the kill. Chibi wanted to go for the shadow kill, but TS no better than actually force the skirmish. They have the one-man advantage. They will go to the neutral objective.
Oh, imagine even using the ejector and throwing him under the turret, but still making it out alive, and now that's a punish. But Kid Bomba, he seems very low. Will Smooth be able to out-sustain everything? It seems like he will. That's the Revitalize, but Chibi, whoa.
Sawo, still with the guiding wind. That's a stun over Chibi, gonna be locked down, still able to escape. Smooth jumps with the AOG, one shot. It's very low. Vamos will not continue the chase. They got the kill. That's a pickoff, and now they will look towards the neutral objective. Full control now for Team Vamos.
That felt like Zorn just accepting all of these early kills onto him for the sake of Team Spirit showing themselves up, and Team Vamos finding a way to reset and work around all of the positionings from the members of Team Spirit. But still, that's the Blade Surge going in. Oh!
John's gonna be careful. One shot taken down. The circling eagle from Sawo. They didn't expect 3 members to be in that bush.
That was like, that was the best possible way to actually anticipate and deal with all these aggression coming in from one shot. I mean, for the past 5 minutes, we've seen him just keep on using that Soul Silver head-to-head up against whoever member of Team Vamos that he finds. But then now they have to acknowledge that Team Vamos, especially if they were able to pull out that beautiful chain CC, that layering, similar to what we've seen earlier, they actually have a way to deal with all this. And I mean, for the past few minutes, they've been so focused on making sure that lane doesn't lose in the laning. So they're definitely confident in terms of the damage he's probably able to put out right now. But man, we've been seeing a lot of action here in this mid-river side. I mean, it's almost as if the rotations aren't really happening. It's focused on the mid lane.
You can see one shot there trying to read Chibi's movement too. He has to be careful here. If he stays too long, Chibi and Zorn can actually threaten him with a kill. Chibi going back into the bottom lane. One shot trying to just steal a few of these camps. Zorn doing a good job at delaying it, at least for a bit. But the wave in the bottom lane will be cleared out. And now it's back to just the waiting game. Waiting for the neutral objective. Hiko's farming, Nets is farming. And once we get into the mid game, I guess the question is, who's going to start popping off in these team fights? We heard just from Skylar that for Nets himself, Skylar's opinion is Nets is amazing in lane, but in the team fights, sometimes he doesn't do as well, you know, compared to the lane. Meanwhile, for Hiko, it's the opposite. He's great in these team fights.
Yeah, and I mean, even looking at the gold rankings right now, it seems like Hiko's ahead, but Warlord, oh no, wait!
No, Sunset Lover was ejected towards Warlord. Still becomes a kill, but two members are down there. Spirit with control over the turtle. Chibi wanting to go for the retribution here. Smooth needs to get that unblockable. Wants to jump in. Still with skill one shot. That's the shadow kill onto the back. Now jumping back again. Chibi's retribution cannot lose. Bomba with the stun over to Zorn. Rhapsody coming down with a revitalized too. That's able to dodge away from that skill one stun. Now it's the AOG to the back. Hiko gonna be caught as well. Now it's gonna be the quad shadow from the back. Chibi with a flank. The assassination. That's Fallen Sao down, and it's a win for Vamos.
And when it comes to sustaining the team fights and prolonging everything else, Team Vamos, it seems like they're well equipped to do just that. Oh, the ejector misses, but Sunset Lover, will he be able to clear the lane? Because it seems like he will be bursted down by Team Vamos, and they have their eyes set on taking that mid lane turret.
1v4, 1v5 even earlier. Sunset Lover, without the vengeance, he's got to respect Vamos, man. I mean, at this point, Vamos have damage to actually deal with Sunset Lover. When you don't have the vengeance, you're very, very vulnerable. Chibi as well, just always threatening Hiko here. Rotating, showing up, forcing Hiko to fall back a bit. And we can see that Vamos have actually taken control of the mid game.
Yep. Right now, they want, or Team Spirit, they also want to get the trades for themselves. That's a Circling Eagle being used onto Storm, but the Unstoppable Force, will he be able to cancel it out?
That was great. Oh, the AOG as well. One shot able to claim the kill. Hiko goes in with the Rhapsody, but Smooth doesn't care. He gets tickled by the Rhapsody damage.
Man, if Team Spirit decide to play it all together as well, if they go in all five, you can't expect Team Vamos to find it that easy to position themselves, especially with Sunset Lover constantly on the lookout for disrupting these team fights. And them just being so confident to take out Sword, who is equally confident in just standing in front of all the members of Team Spirit. But this is a different story we're seeing right now. They're more on the 5-man rotations. So from the bottom lane all the way to the top. And another thing that we really have to take into account is how, despite all the focus that Team Vamos has put towards the gold lane, Hiko's still leading in gold. He's still well protected. I mean, this is the Matilda that we're talking about. So for this Lord that we're looking at, it will definitely be a very important fight for either of these teams to eventually gain the map control that they've been looking for since the, I don't know, 5-minute mark, where nothing nearly seems to be happening just yet.
9 minutes in and we're basically still equal. There's really no lead here. The 1,000 gold lead for Vamos is great and all, but it's still very easily swung back in favor of, Bomba opening up. Getting the stun over to Chibi. Yo, change CC! Zorn left him, and Chibi got one shot by one shot. Spirit now gotta back away. They have to respect this. Chibi's down, and Team Spirit can just reset and go for the Lord.
I mean, that was a great idea, right? Zorn and Chibi together in that particular brush. Probably they could have went for the sandwich play if Team Spirit had decided to show themselves towards the other side of the Lord pit, but it was a different story. They decided to check all the brushes, and now Zorn, oh wait!
It's a vengeance, and electrifying beats over to Zorn. Smooth pops into Revitalize now, circling eager to lock him down. One shot gets the snipe out to Zorn! Smooth low, poke down. Chibi is back up again. Warlord pops in. The Bat Feast wants to join in the team fight, and Sunset Lover again is in the bottom lane, so TS will decide to reset again.
I just remember that this wasn't... Yeah, it really isn't a Jungle Joy, so the Vengeance, that's an additional layer of problems that Team Vamos would definitely have to deal with. But we're still here in the Lord Pit. They don't want to... Either of these two teams want to give this up. That's the glorious pathway once again, but Smooth will be able to sustain this. He's in the middle of everything.
Chibi.
Oh, wait, it's from behind!
Quad Shadow, AOG, he go with the flick around Smooth. That AOG won't connect. The Sanguine Claws will bomb up! One bad impact. Kid Bomba still surviving with just 1 HP, a sliver of health. Warlord's mana is going down quick, but he claims the Lord for Vamos.
Earlier, it seemed like Team Spirit were able to set things up for them to have that Lord take. But Team Vamos, they were just able to buy enough time. They were the ones who were able to turn things around this time, and currently Nets is in the lead in terms of gold. And Team Vamos, they will definitely make use of this Lord, possibly taking out almost all of the inner turrets whenever they gain the chance or the access towards it. This is a very difficult situation for Team Spirit. The sustain that Team Vamos has in their hands and the lack of burst damage that Team Spirit has as of now, it seems like it's starting to become a problem.
Tier 2, number 1 down below taken out. And you can see the itemization here for Nets too. I think he's building towards an endless battle. He has the mana beats. Zorn walking up, now stunned up. That's a double stun from Bomba and 1 shot, but it is just Zorn. He can take that. 1 shot again with the arrow. It will be TS allocating most of their resources into the bottom lane. A full dive! 1 shot caught on the AOG. Now that's a taunt as well. Good revitalize from Bomba, but that's going to be a turret taken down. Sunset Lover walking back and forth now in the midst of it all with the Vengeance and the electrifying beads over the net. Sunset Lover able to dive all the way. Now it's a killing spree. Hiko gunning them down. Sunset with a triple. 1 shot with a double. Team Spirit had wiped Vamos out.
The definition of punish and timing proven to us by Team Spirit.
Wait. There's no way. They're looking for the end. There's a big wave in the bottom lane. TS, they're going for the gamble. Wait a minute. The minions will spawn. Team Spirit in the mid lane.
Oh, wait.
They're already on the base turret.
Oh, wait. Is this it? Are they actually going for the end? No one's going home. The minions spawned in their base and they're just going for it.
Zorn needs to get the nice shot. Eco is just targeting the base. One team fight. And they turn it around. They secure game 1 against Team Vamos.
What an unexpected turn of events for Team Spirit. 1 crucial mistake, 1 miscalculated play was all it took for them to end the game in less than 13 minutes.
1 big fight, 1 big moment from Sunset Lover. The jungler who was knocked out by a Malaysian team at M3. Now he plays the jungler in the mid lane. That's the joy in the mid lane with Vengeance. He's still got the mechanics in him.
Definitely, the mechanics were there. So now let's break down what happened in game number 1 together with our panel.
Thank you very much. And that's what happens. This is the life of a Mobile Legends player now. It only takes 1 mistake. Like, this is the definition of life. You do so many things and people will forget about it. But you do 1 bad thing. That's going to be the biggest thing that people will talk about. And I kind of feel like people will talk about that.
Oh, it's definitely going to stick for sure. It stings that we lost in that particular way, but why did it happen? Number 1, I got to give it a Sunset Lover, right? Because in a majority of the early to mid-game fights, he did not want to participate. They were playing 4v5 in a lot of the scenarios, and he was able to get his 3 items on time, find the levels that he needs, and that Vengeance really making the difference for these dives once all the ults and resources had been used by Vamos.
And it's interesting because it was on a little bit of an untraditional method, right? He pulls out the Joy and puts it in the mid lane. And I mean, I guess it worked because technically Joy can get away from all that aggressive gameplay because he has good peel.
Honestly, I feel like the biggest thing is the Vengeance, right? He came in, he dealt the damage. Now, when he uses the ult, right, the electrifying beats, there's some magic resist as well as armor. But when you put Vengeance on top of that as well, and you have some return damage, we saw the hesitation from Nets to keep on hitting because the return damage, like the bigger your damage is, the bigger that it's going to reflect. And that was a big reflective damage there. Even Nets was like, I don't know if I want to keep on going.
I think he learned his lesson after that very first Lord interaction. You saw him hitting away at Sunset Lover. He put himself down to a quarter of his HP, and then he had to tap out. It's like, I gotta hit. I'm sorry, GB. I gotta hit your purple. If I don't, I'm gonna die. I need the crits. I need this Haas Claw to work with me. But another genius thing coming in from the side of Team Spirit is the fact that if Sunset Lover can close the distance between him and Warlord, you lose so much damage off of the tip of the bat impact.
And also credits to Sawo, right, on this Mathilda, just keeping the team alive, giving them the additional shielding, and another way for Sunset Lover to go back if he needed some help when getting very low.
Yeah, I would say the critical point is definitely Sunset Lover there, especially with the Vengeance. And looking at the build as well, having that Weapon Master just makes Holy Crystal hurt a little bit more, where we even saw that Zorn got taken down pretty quickly. So this is one of those situations where Vamos looked to be a strong team. They played disciplined throughout the match, especially during that Lord take. But then they just, I guess they didn't count on the Vengeance being up yet. Like they thought, okay, maybe the Vengeance is down, so we can deal with the Joy. But once the Joy jumped in with the Vengeance, GG, lights out.
Yeah, but there's nothing much you can do with it, right? You're hoping that Smooth maybe has a taunt to try and kind of pull the Joy away in the middle of the dashes, but as you saw in that very final fight, Smooth already jumping in very heavily to try and take first inhibitor turret, which I don't think is a bad move. It's actually a very powerful siege tool that Gatot has, especially when you have the artilleryman Sicilian in your backline. But once you are out of ults, that's when you're expecting the clap back coming in from the side of Team Spirit.
Yeah, one small step for Sunset Lover, a huge step for Team Spirit for game number 1 of this best of 5. The last team standing in the West. I mean, even the damage still goes over to Vamos, and it just shows you one mistake can cost everything.
Yeah, and now we got to look at the goal graph here just to show how big of a swing that is. Look at Team Spirit. They actually controlled the game for the first like 6 minutes or so, but then Vamos was able to take the lead, and more importantly, they hold down the lead up until the last moment. That very last moment, look at how fast the dip was. They were 2,200 gold ahead, and then it swung all the way down, and then the game ended.
I think that Vamos in this particular matchup was actually trying to find angles to get in an early snowball, maybe for Chibi, maybe even for Nets in the early game. But I think that Team Spirit, they've done great preparation. You could see the movements on the map to deny them, body block them, always marking each and every man, understanding that if somebody's standing on one side of the wave, we're not falling for any macro feints anymore. We need to keep our minds very elevated and stay on what's important, and that's keeping Hiko alive. Once we get into the mid game, we also saw a bit of personality from Vamos. Hey, you made one mistake, now I'm going to take your mid inhibitor. Now I'm going to start pushing into your jungle. Now I'm going to start taking every turret on the map as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there were a lot of times you saw Vamos just bounce back, even if they fell on an objective. The defense was definitely there for them to be able to come back and take the Lord away from Team Spirit. A lot of those occasions worked in their favor, but then at that in-game toward that push, that's when you got to see Sunset Lover come alive on this Joy.
And now we gotta drop to the beat of the flash, where we're gonna look at the MVP for this game, and I feel like it's gonna be Sunset Lover, because I gotta say that play was the game-winning play. Like if you want to see a play of the day, that's play of the day material for you.
It's so good. It was so very, very good. I mean, look at his item build, right? We know that his emblem was my Weapon Master, but he doubled down on getting not only a Holy Crystal, but even the Blood Wings. And it's important to understand that with this emblem, you're multiplying your damage really, really quick. But he's not just greeting out. He's not like, oh, I want to get a lightning charge. I want to get the extra movement speed. I don't want to cut through with a Holy Glaive. No, he does initiate starting off with the glowing wand. He still understands, hey, I need to reduce your healing first before I can guarantee the one shot.
Yeah, and then he runs the Temple of Rain as well, right? So when he uses that ultimate, that electrifying beats, his ults or his skills are going to go on cooldown, so it's going to be even more damage, and that works really well with a hero that gets up close and personal.
Yeah, like we can definitely see it at Sunset Lover. He was completely fine. If I die, I die. As long as I take someone with me. And he took out 3 people with him, and then the rest, one shot just clean up. We're going to look at the highlights here, and I got to say, this is a good way to start game number 1, where you really can't expect anything, because if you're looking at the game, it starts off with Team Spirit doing well. And Vamos, you know, they were able to recover the lead and then just lose it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we also have to talk about the full composition coming in from Team Spirit, right? How does all these heroes interact with each other? I would say, yes, it does look a little bit like a dive composition. It's pretty good at diving overall.
Oh,
but the beauty of it is how they run them down. Look, the inhibitor breaks at this point, and once the glorious pathway is through, that's when you're waiting for Sunset Lover to jump into that line.
Oh, I just saw a mistake.
Yep, they forced themselves into a choke point, and even worse yet, even Hiko was able to get free Death Sonata shots to allow the rest of Spirit to catch up.
No, that was not the mistake.
Was it the ejector?
Yeah, like he wanted to eject the Joy, but he ejected Nets. Oh, yeah. So Zoran, instead of tossing the Joy, he accidentally tossed the Bruno.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, if he threw the Joy up, they would have won the fight. But he actually threw the Bruno. Oh, that was.
I feel like we're gonna have to ask him later about that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like, because the thing about the ejector is that once the Joy is completely on top of Nets, it's really a coin toss, right? Like it could literally hit anyone unless Nets buys the potion to make sure that he doesn't get. But oh, that was unlucky.
Yeah, that's why. When they were walking off the stage, it's not like they were, oh, we're really disappointed. It's like, all right, we made a mistake. We knew exactly what happened there. And honestly, TS, they played a strong game. They knew what they were doing, and it benefited their composition. Move on to game 2.
Yeah, I feel like it was one of those situations where there wasn't too many wrong answers for Vamos, right? There was a lot that went right in that game for them. Yeah, there were some mistakes. There were some times where Spirit was in the lead, but it wasn't a one-sided story. And I think even with the draft, I'm okay with the way the draft landed for both sides.
Yeah, so one thing that we have to say, they got to be careful here. They want to make sure that they don't get tilted because losing in that kind of way kind of messes with you. But something that we got to talk about, we have the ROG phone. No, it was physically, but unleash unmatched gaming performance with the ROG Phone 9 Pro mobile masterpiece that seamlessly blends high-power gaming with sleek, modern aesthetic. And this is how you use a Joy Mid, right? Get yourself an ROG phone so that you can drop to the beat of the flash. But to let you guys know as well, from the 18th of November all the way to the 29th of December, participate in M6 Lucky Gift. Join the draw for a chance to win Claude's new Epic Skin, Challenges Flare, and Beatrix's new M4 Epic Skin, Lightseeker, which I personally tried out. I haven't gotten it yet. I have no idea how Husky got both of them, but it is what it is. Don't miss out this rare opportunity to get Beatrix M4 exclusive and M4 Prime skins returning for a limited time. With my luck, I don't think I'm going to get it, by the way.
Hey, just a couple more rolls. You're going to get it at some point, right? And that's not the only thing people should be excited for, because a new optimized game has come also by MLBB. Magic Chess Go, a multiplayer strategy game. Now soft launch in both Malaysia as well as Singapore. So you can pre-register. The pre-registration is actually underway for other APAC regions, so no need for fast fingers. You don't have to worry if you're not a big Joy player. Take your time and really focus on your compositions.
In one day, I went from a warrior, now I'm Grandmaster. It's an amazing game. It's an amazing game. And like you said, it's optimized. It didn't really use a lot of battery. With just one single charge, I played like 16 games.
What?
On one charge.
16 games?
16 games. And I've been top 4 every single time, by the way. So just saying.
That's a fair point. It is 60 FPS as well. I'm surprised that it's optimized too.
That is a machine in a beautiful game as well, and I'm definitely gonna have to try and maybe get some tips and tricks from you.
Oh no, dude, you'll get it instantly. You get it instantly. But yeah, we gotta talk about these teams now because this is a best of 5. Losing one game, it's okay. You can come back, and we saw that Vamos had very good discipline in that game. So like you guys said, it's not one-sided. Now, we got to go into the mental of the team. We were able to talk to Smooth, so we'll see what he has to say, and hopefully they're A-okay right now. A long journey ahead. Smooth said, I'm disappointed that both Malaysian teams are in the lower bracket. We were really hoping that this wouldn't happen. Even if both teams make it through, we might have to face each other in the end. Our journey in the lower bracket will likely be a long one. We need to stay mentally prepared and build our stamina because only those who can endure will survive. And wise words where it's going to be tested right now.
Yeah, it's truly going to be tested. And even if they do win this series, there's still a very long journey ahead of them. I love Smooth's mentality because he's very realistic about things, right? In his own professional career, so many times has he been cursed with second places all the time. And finally, when he qualifies and makes it into top 8, he understands the journey ain't over yet until you're lifting that trophy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure on the line for the Malaysia region, right? Trying to get out of the bottom bracket and get back up there with those at the top. And it's going to be interesting to see how they pull this off, right? I mean, even in the player interviews, we got to see Team Spirit and Vamos competing against each other, and they're very humble about the situation.
Yeah, and now looking at Team Vamos here, again, mentally, they got to be prepared, as well as their stamina. And sometimes in tournament, you have to have, you know, short-term memory loss, right? Just like, okay, whatever happened. Recover, and at the same time, try to learn from mistakes. Like, whatever the coaches say, just trust your coach. Maybe Pop said, you guys have a late scaling comp. You guys didn't have to force it, because there's a lot of game to be played. You know, we'll see what the adjustment is going to be on game number 2.
Yeah, just one game at a time is how they have to look at this. I mean, if history repeats itself, yesterday we ran into this situation where the best of 5s, both of them went all the way to a game 5 with both teams winning the first 2 matches. I mean, this M series has been full of excitement. It's been full of surprises. And we're only in game 2. They definitely have enough time to bounce back.
Absolutely. But, I mean, on the opposite end, right? Team Spirit, they're playing on Malaysian home ground against a home ground team. The crowd is definitely not going to be on their side for a majority of these matches. If we're talking about a test of mentality in terms of stamina, you also have to make sure that overall your emotional state is not going to be shaken by the crowd screaming for every single play, every single success that the crowd is excited for.
And now it's going to be much more difficult in the draft. Who would have who would have seen that the Joy would be coming up in mid?
I know I didn't.
I didn't either, honestly.
I mean, like, we've seen Joy mids before, but not in M6.
I agree, but at the same time, it's not like it's an impossibility. We've seen the draft actually, well, not even the draft, the meta right now being pried wide open with a lot more interesting red side picks and even blue side picks. And I think that even Joy, after we've seen BTK show off that it can go into the EXP lane, it's a late scaling monster. And if you want to play long range and you lose damage when you get shorter, Joy's a pretty good option.
You know, I'm wondering with game number 2, if Vamos is going to take red side or if they're going to go blue side. They were blue side for game number 1. They were kind of forced to pick up that Bruno. We know Nets, that's not really his specialty play style. So maybe if they take the red pick swing, it could work in a totally different favor.
Yeah, honestly, red side so far has been looking very strong for M6 because, again, that final pick can really screw with you. But now we were able to talk to Zorn as well. We have an M chat with him, and let's look at how he's feeling right now. How do you feel about the team dropping to the lower bracket? And Zorn replied, I feel sad that we didn't make it to the upper bracket. We need to review our strategy and gameplay. It will be very important for us to figure out how to recover if we were to lose the early game and focus on playing for the late game, where we definitely saw that they lost a bit in the early game and they were able to recover come mid-game. Now they just got to be careful not to make unnecessary mistakes or engages come to the late game.
I think we can definitely see, you know, the discipline being shown by this team. I mean, even prior to M6, we were always wondering if this team had hit a plateau because all they were focusing on was the early game for a large majority of the year. So coming into this, now I feel like Team Spirit is really testing that. How much have you evolved to your mid as well as your late games? I think that game 1, we saw a little bit of it, but now, since it's a best of 5, we're going to see a lot more, and I don't think Team Spirit is going to change the strategies.
I mean, Team Spirit's comfortable. You saw Kid Bomba. He told Eterna, I plan on winning this 100%. I plan this to be a 3-0. And then you see beside him.
Yes, I was like, maybe 3-1. He's like, you know, I'm confident, but not that confident.
He's very realist. That's why he's the godfather. All right, coming into this draft, I want to see which side they decide to be on. Initially, we saw Team Spirit going on red. I would only assume that Vamos probably also wants to go on the red side because, again, even when we look at statistic win rates, both teams have a higher win rate on red side compared to blue.
Something to note as well. Thank you for the production team bringing this up. The last time we saw a Joy mid was Troublemaker from Umbrella Squad during M5 wildcard. That was M5 wildcard. So that's quite a while ago, literally last year.
Oh boy, oh boy. Maybe that's where the inspiration came from. I mean, they're all from the same region, right? So information spreads quick.
And now Vamos is going to be on first pick. This time they ban out the Bruno. So maybe this is just, you know, they haven't gotten used to it yet. They haven't gotten used to Bruno's power spike and etc.
I suppose, but they're also biting out the glue. So I'm guessing that at least for Vamos, they want to make sure that even if they do have a tank EXP laner, they're not going to get punished too hard. I like the response because this is right after they get rid of the Phoveus from the side of Team Spirit. But now in this very final ban, it feels like there's too much to give away. We could say, yes, they could lean back into the Matilda once more since Vamos was pretty adamant on getting the Bruno the last time, and they could have gone for Suyo as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Blue Yo, take that Suyo up, or you could go the Cho route. Definitely have it to be able to flex to the XP or the roam position. I feel like right now, picking up the Marksman first pick, you can wait a little bit, right? I mean, you can get the Beatrix, you can get the Granger, you can get a Harith. You know, Nets likes to play a little bit more up close and personal. I don't feel like they have to rush this. I just think it's a great time to maybe go in for the mid laner, but they're going to go in for Blue Yo. So Suyo is going to be in the jungle for Vamos.
Maybe it's to make one shot a little less comfortable. I mean, he was technically, in terms of clear speed, doing a much better job at clearing his camps in comparison to GB on a Hayabusa, but that's just the nature of the hero.
Wow, okay, now I feel old. This will be Sao's 62nd game in the M series. Just M series. It's his 62nd game in just M series.
You know what's the wildest part? I've watched all 62 games. Yeah. I have seen every single one of those games, whether on the desk or off the desk, just watching the M series in all of the games.
He's heavily decorated. I mean, the only M series that we did not see him in was M4. So, yeah, there's a lot of legacy, there's a lot of history to kind of talk about between both of these teams. Vamos, Team Spirit, formerly Homeboys, there's Volts, and now here they are again on the grand stage to fight it out again. As you are going to see that Mathilda picked up with the Hylos. They're going to go ahead and show some of these cards early.
Team Spirit, they might pick up the Granger as well because they banned out the Hilda. Hilda has been good making sure that Granger stays far away from the team fight, but without that Hilda, he's going to be free hitting here. And Team Spirit kind of feels like having the Matilda as well as the Hylos is a very good answer to what Vamos shows on the table.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Team Spirit is going to go back to the previous comp that we've seen in game number 1. They want to be able to punish their opponents. They want to be able to run them down. So I think that Vamos may have to pivot in terms of, hey, we need a composition that can fight on a dime but isn't reliant on our ults too much so we don't give a clear flag to TS when they do decide to unleash upon us.
I wonder if Vamos, okay, I was going to say, are they going to go the Sicilian route again? But no, they're going to go in for the Valentina. Now, with Team Spirit, do they still go in for this Joy? I feel like it'll be a little harder, especially with a Valentina able to kind of get a little bit more crowd control to stop that Joy from being as mobile. But for the side of Team Spirit, they definitely have some options on the table. Technically, the Aurora could come out here. We've seen that picked up a lot, especially up against the Valentina. The Eve would have been a great pickup, but you have to risk giving Vamos the RWM.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that Team Spirit is pretty open to pick Sunset Lovers hero last. Like, that's just the Joy. Maybe they have something even crazier for us. Like, I don't know.
Who should?
Well, they show up the Joy.
No,
no, here's the thing. It's flex, which is crazy. It's flex.
It's flex. It poses a lot of questions whether or not Vamos is going to be able to handle it. Can they even find an early game opportunity against TS? If not, they're going to have to play mid to late. And even so, right now, I'm not seeing a lot of scaling on Vamos' side just yet.
And right now, I feel like the high-value targets are going to be what's going to be ran in the gold lane. I mean, technically, you could go in for the Harith in this situation for Vamos, maybe something that Team Spirit wants to take off the table. The Granger, a high-value target as well, that's still walking for either side, and we have yet to really see what could be in the XP lane, because, I mean, the Katat could be roam still.
Also a possibility. At least we understand that Vamos wants to hold back on what that gold lane pick is going to be first. I like the fact that, you know, Team Spirit, they're just covering their bases, make sure that you start limiting down on the potential options when it comes down to just the roam supports. Maybe even the Tigreal might be a follow-up ban afterwards. We'll see what Vren has in mind just a bit, because now we're looking towards Pops' side, right? If you make the comparison, we don't know where this, we're not exactly sure where this Joy is going to be, but more so the jungler is going to be a lot slower in comparison to the Suyo, unless they're trying to play for something scaling or map heavy, like a Ling, or I would hope Alpha.
Something crazy, like maybe Vamos can pick up, I don't know, Fredrin EXP.
Against the Hylos?
Against the Joy specifically.
Against the Joy.
Because Fredrin is good against the Joy, and we've seen the evolution of the EXP is basically just a second roamer, right? as the timer is about to hit 5 minutes, they're basically going to swap lanes, right? Where the EXP laner will move around the map, and then the jungler will go to the EXP lane and start absorbing those minions. So, you know, it's open, but now the Khalid as well as the Cho gets banned out. So at least for Team Spirit, they're seeing this Gato Kacha to be an EXP laner.
I mean, options are wide open on the table. In terms of the gold lane, the only thing you've seen take out so far was that Bruno in the first phase of the ban. So definitely comfortability for both Nets and Hiko to be able to get the job done. Now, we got to see, right? If you do go the roam route, I believe Tig is still there. So Tig could go for the side of Vamos.
Wait. I haven't seen Nets use 1-1, but that's an option here because they banned out the Faramis, and one of 1-1's weakness is the Faramis. Because I'm thinking, why do you need to ban the Faramis here?
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing as well. I'm not sure why the Faramis, and then I would imagine that the Loyi would have come first, and then maybe they start thinking of getting rid of Yves and then force them to play something a little more awkward, right? But now that we're coming into the first picks of the second phase, I want to see how TS is going to respond to this, right? They could get their gold lane very early on, but I would imagine that they want to hold it to the very end unless they are abusing the Joy as the flex pick.
Yeah, because they can pick up a Granger or a Beatrix here, because both options are open, and both Hiko is definitely comfortable with. If they really want reliable late game scaling, then probably the Beatrix. If they just want to bully out lane, then hey, Granger is a good pick.
The Joy has just been such a power pick. It poses a lot of questions, right? Because now you see it in the mid lane, which means you could pick up the Eve.
Okay.
Because it's a flex pick, which means this is going to be Joy in the jungle.
Yeah. All right. Something that I want to point out here, there's two, again, you have the Matilda who's able to enable somebody to dash out of tough situations. You have Joy, who I want to see whether or not Vamos thinks is a true problem. We've seen a couple of answers before, but maybe if they're going to experiment once again, I'm thinking maybe even a Minstar might be possible.
Or Ruby, you know,
or
something
Ruby.
simple. Yeah, something simple like a Ruby.
A Ruby would be good here. It has a lot of slow and sustainability as well. Like, the problem is the Joy. Who's going to stop this Joy from rushing in? There goes the CC, a great hero to get to the back line.
All right. So they want to win out on that EXP lane. They want to make sure that High Loss is, you know, a little uncomfortable here, but now they can still flex it out. That's why Coach Ren has done a very good job on this red side draft.
Yeah, and right now Vamos is just picking comfort here because the CC is to face up against the against the High Loss, because that's a winning matchup. And Harif doesn't have a lot of losing matchup and is one of Net's comfort heroes. So Vamos, they're just going on pure comfort, and then we'll see how this works out for them, because there's a chance that Team Spirit can counter this Harif pick.
And now, you know, it poses the question, what's going to be slotted in that gold lane? I mean, there's still pretty much everything on the table minus that Harith. I mean, you can still see the Granger, you can still see the Beatrix sneak up in there. Hiko's definitely got a deadly Beatrix, but you have to worry about that AOG, right? You got to worry about that Gatot getting to the back line as well as that CC. And there we go.
1-1.
The 1-1.
I mean, I was talking about the 1-1, but I feel like it was going to be a good pick for Vamos, but they're like, you know what? It's open. Might as well give it to Hiko, and Hiko has used the 1-1 before to amazing success. Thank you very much to the panelists, Gideon as well as Steph Weezy, but now we're throwing it over to Brigida as well as Mirko to call this game.
Thank you so much to our panelists. And similar to game number 1, I think we're heading into this match with yet another surprise from Team Spirit. Coach Ren is feeling it today. He's been showing us some unique drafts since game number 1, so we'll see how Vamos will respond to this, because if it's just a matter of comfort, I think they're very much comfortable again with their lineup.
Technically, Ren is the defending champion, right? He was the M5 World Champ, so he's the defending coach World Champion here at the M6 World Championship. And you can definitely see the experience here. I was thinking maybe something like a Clint to go and double down on the front to back with the Yi, but they go for the 1-1, so extra aggression. Say One Shot wants to go in, 1-1 can do that. If they want to kite back, 1-1 can do that too.
I mean, they didn't really decide to go for a safe option, right? Even the Granger, in terms of range, if we're talking about range, those are some of the options that they can potentially pick up, but they really wanted to go for the aggressive plays. So we'll see if that will really happen in this game, because Vamos, they should have learned their lesson. Team Spirit is really a very methodical team, a very patient team, so they cannot afford to go all out and make the same mistakes once again. So still, of course, not letting go of that potential aggressions, because we're seeing it right now from Sorn, but Team Spirit, they really know how to play around this. But wait, what? Warlord in the EXP lane? Oh, both of the mid laners are in the EXP lane.
It's a full lane swap done by Spirit and Vamos. I think maybe it's because I think Team Spirit initiated this, right? Because there's no way Vamos wanted the mid lane to be where CC would be. He wanted CC to go lane up against Bamba, but because it's such a bad matchup for the high-lows, they decide to lane swap over to the mid lane to give Bamba a better laning phase. And up top, it's basically the same, right? Valentina, it'll go as is. Great setup too, by the way, for a skirmish. Zorn gets in the taunt, one shot, still able to dash back and forth. Oh my goodness, that damage Smooth with the yo-yos. Even with Bamba and Sawo to provide sustain, it was not enough.
Even with the Revitalize, even with all that, Team Vamos, this is clearly the type of early game that they want to play, and it's something you would expect with the CC in the mid lane. It wasn't directly towards interrupting the jungler of Team Spirit, but then the moment that they saw each other in that Riverside, it inevitably led to that death by one shot, and that's not a great start, definitely, for Team Spirit here. So they would want to get the upper hand for this upcoming turtle that we are about to see. And now that Warlord, though, he's yet to get his level 4. Let's see how they're gonna work around this, because they're bursting it down and they're not letting Team Spirit get near it at all.
Okay, Zorn is all alone. That's the art of UM2. Oh, Smooth pops in a vengeance. Great stun from Chibi. That's a kill at the current call. Locks Sunset Lover down, but whoa, Bamba able to get the kill back on Smooth. Becomes a 2-2 stat line at this point, but Vamos did take the turtle. Now Chibi trying to go for this invade, but Sawo and Sunset Lover will be able to keep it safe from that invade.
Yeah, and I mean, they tried to at least play it safe, but still get some sort of trades against Team Vamos, even despite all that. And I feel like they wouldn't really want to mine their gold lane as of now, but this isn't quite the best possible scenario for Hiko if we're just going to base it in terms of the matchup. But we've seen a similar scenario for Hiko even in game number 1. Regardless of what kind of matchup you put him against, regardless of the amount of focus you put towards the gold lane, Hiko will just be able to maintain that lane and stay stable throughout the entirety of the game until the moment that you will need him. But Team Vamos, will they proceed with the aggression this time around? Will they want to go for the invades? Because as we're seeing it right now, we're back to the usual laning. And both side lanes of Team Vamos are having a relatively good time.
It's a very good time for Vamos right now. The Harith winning in the lane, up top to CC. That one is the lane we kind of predicted to actually go in favor of Vamos. But even in the jungle, Chibi out farming one shot after getting that kill Smooth early. It does look like Chibi is just very, very comfortable. Oh, certainly Eagle over to Warlord. It's going to be one shot with the electrifying beats as well. No real kill threat as of right now, though. Both teams are able to disengage whenever, and one shot will just bounce away. Chibi stealing it away. Oh, Eco getting punished quite a bit on this 1-1. Not popping the Inspire, and up top, it's a yo-yo battle. Bamba will just accept some of that damage.
We're seeing just what we were all expecting to happen, but this is space for Team Vamos. Oh, but Rico gets spotted by Chibi!
What a read by Chibi! And that sets up perfectly for the next neutral objective. It spawns in right as Hiko died. That should be a free neutral objective.
Yeah, I mean, no one else is probably going to attempt to contest this turtle, knowing that even all the side lanes, the mid lane even showing himself in the mid lane, it's only just Chibi taking that objective. Now they will immediately transition to stealing away this purple buff from a one shot, but will they be successful in doing so? One shot still has the retribution, but so does Chibi. And the skirmish is really happening. Oh, they take it away.
That's the combo. The arrow into the retribution. Great usage of the arrow. Get a bit more HP to secure it. One shot will use the retribution on to another camp. And right now, Vamos are leading just with the sheer amount of neutral objective control and farm speed. Does seem like Chibi, every time he gets the Suyo, by the way, he's a neutral objective god. Even when he was up against the Suyo in game number 1, he secured more neutral objectives than one shot.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a great scenario for Team Vamos because even Nets is having a great time. Like, both of them, they're just really able to perform this early into the game, but the real-world manipulation, though, they go in!
Zorn, very low, circling Eagle Horn coming down, real-world manipulation as well. There's AOG, Sunset Lover, flickering out from Chibi. Now it's Hiko, looking for all the weakness points. That's just one more, but he is able to dash away. Now in the mid lane, it's a battle. One shot taken low. Taken down by Smooth. Sawo cut down by Chibi and splashed by Warlord. Vamos getting everything on the map.
They're definitely back in the game, and Smooth just denying the rest of the members of Team Spirit from catching up, even being able to handle them all on his own. So that's an immense amount of pressure that's coming in from Team Vamos right now. I feel like for Team Spirit, they really want to play into the team fights. But Team Vamos, they're handling all the split-up fight skirmishes really, really well. And now they're slowly able to convert into objectives. They might want to go for the defense, and they will successfully do so. But the other turrets, they won't be able to save them anymore.
They even need to, use out these retributions inside of their own jungle just to secure it. Chibi, the British pathway is placed down by Bomba. RWM as well. The AOG will catch Sunset Lover. Oh, the ton, and that's the chain CC that we saw from Spirit, and now we see from Vamos. Sunset Lover down. Vamos controlling this mid lane. They don't care about the turtle. They want to get more structures.
Now they're the ones doing these 5-man aggressive plays towards Team Spirit. Imagine 6 minutes into the game, exposing one inhibitor turret already for Team Spirit, and they could barely touch Team Vamos' outer turrets. That's how that's the struggle that Team Spirit is actually facing right now.
They can't do anything. Literally, even if they want to commit onto Smooth, there's a Vengeance. He can sustain all day. And unfortunately for Spirit, we're just so far behind. That's a 6,000 gold deficit for Spirit. Vamos are going to dictate every step of the way in this game.
Yeah, and if you were Team Spirit, probably you just really want to wait for that particular opening. But I'm liking how Soren decides to time all of these Avatar of the Guardians, even Sunset Lover not having the best time just yet in this game. Look at that 2k gold lead in Net's hands compared to Hiko. That's a lot. Hiko only got his hands on the corrosion side, and imagine Nets is probably looking to build his Holy Crystal.
Yeah, that's a quick Holy Crystal if he gets it before the 8th minute mark. Yeah, Harith is snowballing. One shot. Dashing forward, Chibi. Oh, they get the retribution, gets stunned down. Oh, Chibi, this might be a mistake. Strictly Eagle knocks him up. One shot gets the kill. Smooth the back line, looking for the flank. Will tie both of them up, but one shot on Hiko will get the help to revitalize to escape. So they get Chibi, but there's no shutdown. So Vamos are still chill with it.
Yeah, and the second skill really helped a lot for Hiko to be able to find his way out of that curtain call. But this is how you visually see the goal differences that are existing between Team Vamos and Team Spirit right now. Even in terms of their junglers, Chibi, with all the objectives that they were able to secure with the 3 turtles that are in Team Vamos' hands right now, this is one shot. He's finding it very, very difficult to dive in, to look for the target. Aside from the fact that they're very high in terms of mobility, I don't think at this point One Shot will want to go in alone. Like, Team Vamos, they're doing a really great job just trying to protect Nets. And Team Spirit, Hiko, I don't think he has the liberty to actually just jump around and dance around Team Vamos, considering the amount of burst damage that they could probably throw out at him.
And now it's all about the farming game for Spirit. For Vamos, they can just take it slow as they want. They can constantly just play in the side lanes. And I think even if they force out a team fight, they have the tools necessary. Okay,
there you
that's
go.
a sign. That's literally the green light with the Holy Crystal to actually go for a fight if Spirit wants to contest. And yeah, there's absolutely no way Spirit wants to contest this. This is a free neutral objective. 4 out of 4 neutral objectives. 3 turtles, 1 lord for Chibi.
And when you see Team Vamos spamming the recalls, or better yet, forming the letter V, that's the indicator that they're definitely in the lead, that they're really dominating the game. And as of the moment, it's looking very much possible because they're just trying to manage the lanes. This is discipline from Team Vamos, but again, they cannot repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
One wrong call, one miscoordinated play could eventually turn things around once again for Team Spirit. So now they're looking to just sync up the lanes, but Chibi with one shot!
Chibi very low. One shot might be dead here. He picks up the Holy Crystal. He's trying to run away. He will be able to run away. Chibi gets the BOD, already using the Retribution earlier. Has that bought enough time? Lord of the mid lane. Holy Defense still intact. Will be popped. And the Lord will be cleared out. Whoa. One shot might have actually defended, helped Team Spirit defend from the first Lord.
Yep. And Chibi didn't really risk it anymore, but will he be able to catch one shot? Okay,
my Lord.
That was close. The Evil Queller.
A pixel away. That was close. That was real close, man.
Okay.
Hey, one shot. That's he's cold with it. He just stuck by that recall. He committed.
That was so close. But now, at least for Team Spirit, thanks to what one shot has done towards the bottom lane, I think they're able to breathe a little more. That's a magic scent. They spot out Smooth and Warlord, but will they go for the actually? They use the avatar of the Guardian as well for Team Vamos.
Catches Sawo as well. Now circling Eagle Bomba dismantled by Vamos. Spirit, oh, wait a minute. Zorn was recalling on him. All right, he gets away from the weakness point. One more. They're all so low. Hiko's gunning for it. He needs just one more, but he's going to be caught in. Smooth jumps in with a vengeance, takes the double, and punishes Hiko for his overextension. Now it's Smooth. Getting targeted by one shot. He's just there. Poked down by Sunset Lover 2. 7 seconds on Bomba, and there's a big wave in the mid lane.
And interestingly enough, it feels like Team Spirit are taking advantage of all the range, the Void Crystals. They're trying to slow Team Vamos down, but will they be able to slow them down?
They're very low. The mid waves will be dealt with. One shot able to survive. Warlord splash of damage. Now the mid wave still available, but Team Vamos in similar fashion, capitalizing on a mistake, shoves it in and takes game 2. It is now 1-1.
With just the glorious pathway down, Team Vamos' call was to proceed with the fight, and they need not wait for any other objective. They just forced their way through, and they equalize the series.
1-1. Vamos Spirit.
I mean,
are we expecting a full 5 games?
I mean, I'm expecting nothing less, especially since we experienced it the other day. But let's break down what happened in that game. Let's head over back to our panel.
Well, let me tell you what, just like Hiko's pick, this game is now a 1-1.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see how both teams work with momentum extremely well. We've seen great conversions, but I think this time around, Vamos has really solidified exactly what they want to do, and it's clear that both teams have done preparation instantly. Oh, you're playing a high loss, you know CC is a bad matchup. I'm expecting the early lane swap to the mid lane.
Yeah, and you see Nets get a lot more comfortable with that Hereth in his hands as well, and it just showcases that even with the loss underneath their belt in the series, it didn't count them out of the whole entire match, right? So to be able to bounce back, now both teams are tied up.
Yeah, now I feel like for Team Spirit, they got to consider quite a few things here, because them picking up the Hylos early does leave the vulnerability of losing against the CC, and we see that Smooth can definitely use the CC quite well. Now, I want to take some time here and actually look at all the items, because we got to talk about the timing here, because Nats was 2-0-6, but we got to consider the timing. The difference in terms of gold, 10K against 7K. Nats got 3 items in the first 8 to 9 minutes. And that's very fast, considering you went up against 1-1.
It's way too fast for most people. And with 1-1, even with 3 items, there's a very good chance that you're going to get one shot by Nets, especially if you misplace your jumps, if you're not careful with the way that you move around your opponents to hit those weakness points. And I think, yes, it's not necessarily Hiko's fault. He was dealt a pretty bad hand overall, because worst comes to worst, if the fight's going bad, they're expecting the GOA to come save the day. They also have to worry about getting run down by Chibi.
One other thing is that look at the itemization for Zorn, and then look at the lineup coming in from Team Spirit. Besides Hiko, everyone is magic damage. High Loss magic damage, Joy magic damage, Eve magic damage, the Matilda is magic damage as well. We've seen a few Gato Kacha, especially in the EXP lane, using the Thunderbelt. But here Zorn completely understands that as a Gato Kacha, you're fine going up against physical damage. It's that magic damage that you really have to deal with. And instead of building more magic resist, he just went for the Winter Crown, because he's just like, I'm just going to go in, have a good engage, and whatever happens, happens. And he only died once this game.
Exactly. And I think, you know, the best part about this is if he times that Winter Crown well, expecting people to jump on top of him, whether it be Matilda, but specifically against that Joy, miss that one dash, oh my goodness, it feels so bad. You're left out, and you're just hoping not to die at that point.
I feel like Zorn's got to be like the recall king.
Oh yeah, he is.
Every time, the later the game goes, the more objectives they take over, the more he recalls.
Let me just say he should have died there. He should have died plenty of times. But now let's look at the emblem setup as well, just to see how Vamos really set things up, and just to say this is their comfort draft, right? Only Smooth is not well known on that CC, but War Axe, CC, going up against a high loss, I would not want to be that high loss.
It's a pretty free matchup, and even Bomba understood that. That's why initially it's not like it's the first time we've seen Bomba play a terrible matchup before, but they have ways around that with that initial lane swap. But Vamos with their pre-preparation, expecting to see it happen, also sending Warlord to take on Sunset Lover in that lane as well. It's all about control. And with Zorn, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you can't push as fast? Don't worry, I got Concussive Blast. I'll support you for that short bit of time before I move off.
And you asked the question with Nets, 8 to 9 minutes, having 3 items, that 10K to 7K. He had the Bargain Hunter, right? So that helped him definitely get about like 90% of the original cost, and especially up against Hiko, where he went for the Tenacity route.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. He went Tenacity and he was already having a hard time. Imagine if he did it. Imagine if he took something like a Master Assassin. He will not be survived in that lane. So this is also another pick that Team Spirit has to consider. Like, that Hari from Nets is quite nasty.
It is nasty, but I think they were really hoping that if we can survive the laning phase, once everybody's unlocked, even if we have to sacrifice all of our tier 1s, our team fighting capabilities are pretty good. We can bait a lot of resources coming in from Vamos. However, we need to rely heavily on Sunset Lover, who I gotta give him credit. He's dealing damage, but that GOA is too much of a problem. TS was not able to take control over the game because of the tempo, and Vamos, especially when Smooth is not only winning the lane, but spreading his influence outside of the lane. He's playing not to accelerate his own team, but to slow down TS at every moment.
Just a small thing as well. Look at Vamos damage. Everyone's doing roughly the same amount of damage, even Zorn, which does show that everyone is doing work here. But now we got to talk about the MVP of this game. And I feel like you guys got to be playing some yo-yos after this, because I feel like it's Smooth on that CC. And I got to say, one hero, honestly countering every single aspect of the draft coming in from Team Spirit. That's huge, because percent HP damage does well against high loss. But that curtain call, locking down that Joy, dude, that's genius.
I mean, it's not only Joy. If 1-1 gets the opportunity as well to pair them both together, that's maximum value coming in from Smooth. I love seeing Smooth as the MVP, because as an EXP laner, I can relate to him, but his level of influence over the map, his impact is always felt when he's doing well.
Yeah, and you see him with the Festival of Blood and the Brave Smite as well, and then on top of that with the War Axe, and then he buys the Runner Crown. So he's in the heart of the battle. He has not really too much to worry about, because he's going to get a lot of HP back inside of those engagements, and that just goes to show 6-1-4 on the KDA. He was everywhere.
Oh yeah, he was definitely everywhere, and like you said, Gideon, spreading the influence, but that Winter Crown as well is very crucial, I feel like, for everyone from Vamos, because maybe they talked about it. What about just Winter Crown? Then we can deal with the Joy. Then it won't be that big of a problem. Now we got to look at the highlights here, and it's as quick as before 2 minutes here. Now Zorn honestly did a lot here, getting that taunt as well as the Revitalize. But then again, the damage coming in from Smooth, and this is like what, level 2?
Yep, that was only level 2, and on top of the passive coming in from Zorn. Most people don't expect Gato to deal that much damage, but in the early game, that's kind of what he's known to do, kind of beat you up 1v1, even if he's 2 levels down. Although, we did see a couple mistakes coming in from Team Spirit, and a lot of it just came down to how hard do you want to force against your opponent. Their targets, Chibi and as well as Smooth. Smooth is a little hard to catch. Chibi may be a little more punishable, but at the same time, we heard from the cast itself, as soon as Chibi doesn't have that shutdown gold, there's not much value. And we've seen that even Chibi understands, hey, there's nothing to fight on the map. What I'm going to do is throw my body in, steal away your orange buff just to slow your EXP down. 3-level difference.
Something that's nice to be seeing there is that Hiko got the weakness tag onto Nets. Nets immediately flicker out of there just to make sure that the range is not long enough for Hiko to use the crossbow of Tang. And then Smooth is just like, let me be the hero. He jumped in, immediately uses the Vengeance, because he knows what Hiko wants to do is get those weakness stack and then fly up. Vengeance killed Hiko first.
And taking him down, I mean, it's huge, right? Without having him in the game with Hiko falling, that led to them being able to pull off that victory, and it just showcases, and that's he had the tenacity, right? On top of that. And still to be able to be bursted down first. A major victory for Vamos to even out this series.
The Battle of the Vengeance, man.
Oh, yeah.
Game number 1, it was on the Joy. Game number 2 is on the CC. Battle of Vengeance, there you go.
Makes me excited for game number 3, right? Because now it shows that Vamos is saying, hey, even if you are winning on one side of the map, if we have another winning side of the map, we're going to have to trade here. It's a give and take in this draft.
Let me just say, all hearts are beating for this game. And you guys can discover the beating heart of Gideon City, the gaming and esport district, the world's first real-life gaming hub and a beacon of gaming culture. Make sure you guys visit Gideon Gaming because they've been here for the longest of time. And I kind of feel like they'll be involved in way more esports tournament coming forward. So thank you very much to Gideon Gaming. Now, talking about game number 3, like we said, Gideon, draft. Game number 1, Joy mid, unexpected.
Yep.
Game number 3, CC, it might be unexpected coming in from Team Spirit. But you know what can be expected?
What can be expected?
A lot of guests for you guys at home. From the 22nd of November all the way to the 29th of December, the M6 support chats will be available for a limited time. Limited time, again, up until the 29th of December. Purchase the support chats for 50 diamonds only to get a large amount of past EXP. That's the best way for you to actually get the cloth skin as well as the figurine up in front here. With the chance to obtain a basic M6 pass, use the basics M6 pass to instantly activate the M6 pass and then get all of the goodies.
It's the easy way of doing it, and honestly, 50 diamonds, not that much.
Now, one more game to see who's leading the tempo for this series. Something we saw different in game number 2. We still saw Vamos on the blue side, but they banned out the Bruno.
Yep.
Is that a hard tell is what I'm concerned about. I feel like as long as Vamos controls tempo, they have a very high chance of winning. But Team Spirit, at any point of time, could have easily bounced back off of a single mistake being made. So not only do you have to play a perfect game coming in from Vamos, but you also have to worry about the draft and more so some of the tells. Because again, it didn't necessarily have to be 1-1 there.
I guess the thing that I'm afraid of is if the Bruno is left open. And if Vamos has a chance to pick it up. And then Nets is like, I don't want it. But then they're like, we got to pick it. Bruno mid. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about it.
Warlord is like, yes, Pops, I can do it.
I can use a Khalid mid. I can use a Bruno mid. But anyways, right now it does look like, okay, so she's tall enough. I can see her. So Eterna is there, you know. Shout out to Bude Clara. Shout out to Bude Clara. But now we're going to go with Eterna where it looks like she's alone. Or are you with someone? Let's go over to Eterna.
Thanks, guys. It's Eterna here, courtside reporter once again. And do I have a surprise for you today? Now, I'm wondering, do you guys know who Kazuki Official is? Yeah? You do? Exactly, yeah. Kazuki Official. Now, I've been hearing that he's apparently in the building. And yeah, a lot of fans in the building. And I'm hearing that as a special surprise for all of the audience in the building right now, he's actually going to show his face for the first time ever, special for M6. Now we're going to walk over to him. And now the thing is, this is the first time that we're going to ever see the face behind the voice. So it's a huge deal. Let's call him over. Kazuki Official, please join us. Hello, Kazuki. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and I'm a little bit nervous also. And this is my first time to be here in such type of this tournament. And yeah, I'm a little nervous right now.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're all here. We're all friendly, right? Nobody's gonna bite, right? You guys aren't. No, okay. Yeah. No one's gonna bite here. So, why? Why after all this time? I've been hearing that you've been in the MLBB scene for quite some time. What made you, what drove you to finally, you know, upload your identity here for M6?
I'm playing this game from 2016, and yeah, it's already been a while. And I'm start creating content from 2019, and this is already 5 years. And this is the first time we got an invitation from Moontoon to be in the tournament. So yeah, I wanted to come before also, but yeah, this is the first time we got an invitation.
So this is the first time you've ever been to an M-Series event?
Yeah, in any tournament even.
Any tournament? Wow, it's an honor. Thank you so much for being here. Amazing. Okay, so now that you're here at M6, we want to kind of know, is there a particular team that you're supporting?
I'm supporting every team because I can't be biased with any team because all teams worked very hard. Yeah, so I'm supporting everyone. But I especially want to see matches of Onyx PH I want to learn more about their strategies and gameplay. Yeah.
Why Fnatic Onyx in particular?
I think everyone in India also love Onyx PH. We are very towards the Philippines teams. Yeah. And my mostly subscribers are also from Philippines.
Ah, I see. So Fnatic Onyx, you guys have a lot of Indian fans over there. Very cool, very interesting. What's the attraction to Fnatic Onyx PH? Is it because they've been doing so well? Is there a particular gameplay that you're excited about whenever you see them play?
I just love the Philippines teams. Yeah, but it's still like I'm supporting every team because they work very hard to be in here. It's not easy to be in here. Yeah.
All right. So coming back to your content, coming back to your YouTube account, what kind of content do you usually make? Like what particular thing really stands out about MLBB to you?
I think we are covering everything. We are covering guides, strategies, and tips and tricks, events, patch notes, skin reviews, everything we are covering, even the tournament reviews. So I think there's nothing we are not covering. And we are the only in the YouTube that we are covering everything.
Ah, okay. Is there a particular hero that you like? Favorite hero?
Claude. Claude is good.
Claude? Even now in this meta?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. You want to know my favorite? My favorite hero? Do you want to know my favorite hero? Do you guys want to know my favorite hero, guys? Are you guys curious? Yeah? See, I love the crowd here. Thank you, Malaysia. Amazing. My favorite hero is Uranus. Yeah. Do you like Uranus?
I'm like an MM player, so.
All right. So before we wrap things up and we continue this best of 5 series, I want to know what you have, or a message maybe to your fans out there who are watching right now.
Okay, so thank you guys, thank you everyone to support me and your love. It's like I'm honored to be in here, and yeah, and thank you my fans from the India. And I actually came in here just because I want to be I want our country to be recognized in this tournament. And I'm also working for that. In next 2025, we will establish a boot camp in India, and I'm working for it. And I will support many players in India. I will make opportunities for them, and we will also host tournaments in there. So guys, this is the time you should again start the game, who left the game. This is I just believe in me and believe in Moonchun. We will have an opportunity to be in the tournament. So guys, this is the time.
All right, thank you so much. We're gonna look out for that real soon. So once again, everybody give a round of applause for Kazuki Official. And we're gonna throw it over back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Kazuki Official. By the way, Eterna, shout out to you. Very nice phone. And let me just tell Eterna, Gideon absolutely hates Uranus.
Bad take. Terrible take. Awful take. Just the worst of the worst.
Right? Like we've seen Uranus all around, but we really don't like it. It's a good thing it's not meta right now.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. Woo! At the bare minimum, you know, shouts out to Kazuki being brave enough to stand next to a Uranus lover like that. Oh, terrible.
Eterna is too much.
It's just too much.
Eterna is too much.
What's your favorite hero?
Honestly, because of my ADHD, it keeps on changing. But one of my favorite heroes, for sure, is the Grok Execute. Oh, those were back in the days. That was back in the days. But now, we have a code here, so let's actually check that out. We'll talk about favorite heroes later. Right now, maybe I'm skewed towards Matilda. But anyways, a test of teamwork. It's not that Liquid ID became stronger because we were weak. This is from One Shot, by the way. In our match against them, there was a lot of miscommunications and disconnect within the team. Some of us ended up as sitting ducks, unsure of what to expect. Against Vamos, we won't rely on mind games. Instead, we'll focus on playing our own game, securing objectives, and taking the win. And honestly, this is some pitfalls that I see a lot of teams where they overthink things, and then They should have just gone with the basics.
All I have to say is I knew it. I knew they weren't playing exactly their strongest game. And I totally agree. There was a couple of moments where they're like sitting ducks for no reason. And especially after the performance that we saw from the Swiss stage, it was a little disappointing that they lost in that fashion. So at least with one shot, giving that quote, it's validation that yes, we were the weaker team at that point of time, but we can see it right now against Vamos. They are playing well, not really a different game, but they're not overthinking too much.
That's interesting. What does Brigitte think? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I agree.
Totally.
100%. Honestly, I like her takes.
Yeah.
I really like her takes. But now we were able to talk to Kid Bomba, and let's see what he has to say. Could you tell us the reasons for your loss against TLID? And he said, we lost because it wasn't a team effort. Not everyone gave 100%. We'll also make little adjustments to our draft. I hope we can come back just like how we did after losing to RRQ. So looks like they're on the same page here. You know, it's like they understand where the mistake is. So step one is understanding where it went wrong. So step two, we got to see how they fix it.
Well, at least they acknowledge it. And we're hoping to see that as we progress through this series. Now, both of these teams tied up 1-1. Today, it's make it or break it. Whoever wins this series will move on forward. The loser will be going back home.
Man, it's going to be a very painful loss no matter what, but I think it's time. Everybody's been waiting for this. Let's get into the drafting phase between both of these teams. First things first, who is blue, who is red, who is first, and who is second. It's so important to see whether the adaptations in this game is going to say, hey, maybe we're going to show a different card, or are we just going to slightly adjust it? It looks like for the side of Team Spirit, it's going to be slightly adjusting.
So we got to see if Team Spirit will bat out that Suyo, because just like what Mirko said during the game, it's like if he gets his hand on Suyo, every objective is for him. Win or lose, doesn't matter. He will get that objective.
It's tough, but I think there's one more pitfall, and I think that's the Matilda. Showing it extremely early tells you, hey, it's not a flex pick. You know exactly what we're doing.
And then also for Vamos' side, do they ban out the Bruno? Yes, they do. Bruno will be banned out again. Definitely has been a heavy hitter so far in the M series. Now, yeah, the Matilda is still on the table. It could definitely be up for grabs. The Eve has had a good showcasing today as well. Definitely something you want to be a little bit more mindful of. But then also the Blue Yo.
Well, I don't think they want to ban out Blue Yo this time around. Unless, if that's going to be an adjustment, I would like to see what, whether or not they're going to try and force the Joy into that Beleric matchup we've seen before. Oh, that just might be the case here.
So now becomes the question, what is first pickable here for Vamos? Because if we're looking at the junglers, I don't know, too much is open. The Alpha is still open. The Joy is still open. The Hayabusa is still open. We haven't seen Nolan around. Nolan's there as well. So I have no idea what the first pick is going to be. Hylos? Even Hylos is iffy.
I would say Hylos or Cho could be definitely a great option right now. I would say something that could be flexed into one or two different roles. I wouldn't go so hard as picking up and showing a trump card this early, right? You want to keep Team Spirit on their toes.
Or Valentina.
That's what I was thinking as well. The Valentina opener might just be the way to go, because if you go into Joy, you're expecting the Beleric to be showing up on the other side. You go for Cho, then other picks are going to come through. Hilda, it's strong, but there is still counterplay for the side of Team Spirit. For an example, putting Alpha in the jungle, it's like, oh, you want to harass me? I got true damage. I literally don't care.
Could be a threat. Definitely have to watch out for it. I mean, the Fredrin could be another viable option as well, especially up against that Hilda. The Assassins is where you're going to kind of be a little bit weaker with that Hilda, especially invading on those buffs. So for Team Spirit, the ball's in their court. They can definitely go in for their goat laner. They can pick up their marksman super early. They have Mage Prio right now. They could pick up something like the Eve. They were comfortable running an Eve against the Valentina. Didn't work out in their favor, but they were comfortable with it.
I feel like the Hilda is just to shut down the Granger and the Joy pick. And the Joy still got picked. So this is Vamos anticipating this Joy pick and try to fight against it. And now even the Matilda is picked. Vamos has an option here. They can go Hayabusa, which goes well against the Joy. Even the Fredrin does well against the Joy. So it's really about what the goal lane is going to be that will kind of dictate what the jungler pickup is going to be. Not saying they pick up gold now, but meaning whatever either Hayabusa or Fredrin can kind of give us some kind of clue. Valentina picked up first.
Okay, no surprises there. I want to see which shows up first, whether or not the there we go. The Hayabusa shows up first. again, decent matchup, but we've seen how annoying this Matilda can be, especially when you're in the Oki Shadow Kill. You can help, make sure pull teams away, pull team members away from the Shadow Kill so that, maybe RNG isn't on your side, or at the very least be able to kind of body block a couple of the shots for your team. I'm still curious about the gold because that's really what's going to predetermine how you want to play your composition or how you want to design it.
Now, you might want to go for a marksman with survivability just because not only you're going against the Hayabusa, but you're also going against that Hilda as well. We haven't seen a Natan in a while. Natan has kind of slipped through the cracks. The Claude has been a little out of the ballpark for a while, but things we have seen, the Beatrix still going to be picked up, something that is definitely a comfortable pick, or the Moskov as well, but they're going to go in for that Alpha, and this just seems to be the case because of the Hilda.
Is it too early to show, though, Gideon? I mean, you already have the Joy. Now you're just saying, yep, this is Joy Mate. What are you going to do about it?
I mean, it could be Joy EXP for all we know. That's
true.
That's another possibility. I don't want to keep speculating upon it because at the very least, here are some of the perks of having the Alpha. The Alpha can only go in one direction. He's not very good at pulling himself out of hard scenarios, but at the same time, does that mean that they're looking towards that mid lane? Are they going to try and set up potential gank angles or at least cut out supply routes, because a lot of the movements from Vamos are predetermined by the mid lane anyways?
I'm expecting Team Spirit to go for, I would say, maybe a Hylos in the XP lane if they could pull it off, because it's still up for grabs. Maybe something that Vamos wants to take off the table. I mean, with the Mathilda, they don't really have too much crowd control aspect. Yeah, you have the Alpha, the Spear of Alpha. You get a little bit of a knock up there, but they need a little bit more oomph when it comes to crowd control.
I could agree with that as well.
I mean, Kid Bomba can still pick up something like the Arlet or Charizla.
That's what I was thinking as well. I feel like the Arlet would make a little bit more sense, but we're going to need to see those gold laners first, and that's the beauty of being on that red side. At least you get to see the full composition. So I'm assuming that they're going to wait until the very end to reveal it. They're probably going to pick 4th pick for Sunset Lover, and then 5th pick for Kid Bomba. But now looking at the bans, right? Banning out the Hylos, banning out the Harith. They want to give Hiko a good matchup at the bare minimum.
Now, they could pull the Okie Doke on the Vamos, right? You could put this Joy in the mid. Then you don't have to worry about the Valentina too much.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like the Valentina has a pretty good matchup against the Joy because the Valentina can steal away the electrifying beats and basically just deal maximum damage all the time. So I feel like because this is not a Sicilian, at least Warlord has a better time going up against this. The Cho has been banned out, so Vamos has options here, right? The Gator is still open, the Jawhead is still open, and I don't know, maybe Zorn has some surprises here to deal with the Joy. Maybe he picks up the Belleric, who knows?
I mean, I suppose, but I think at the same time, how are you going to kind of keep control over the waves? Like, Hilda, yes, is decent at like clearing waves, but then you start comparing it with like Gator, who basically one-shots the wave, right? Even Charizla is able to kind of hard sustain. We're not seeing enough of Vamos on ways to actually pressure the enemy jungler, or at the very least force out that priority, right? And I think at this point, now that they've gotten rid of the Hylos, that's one problem out of the way. But the Khalid, yes, this is something that I was expecting to be banned pretty early on.
So does this mean Vamos, they're going to probably pick up, well, no, the Harith is gone. So, I mean, yeah, maybe Beatrix.
Carry?
Yeah, Carry would probably be next over there for Nets. But for the side of Team Spirit, maybe the Beatrix is going to sneak into the occasion. And then we got to see what's going to be put inside of that XP lane. Now, also, the question still is, yeah, the Joy with the Valentina may not be the best option, but there's just so much flexibility with Team Spirit's composition so far, right? Not only do you have sustainability with the Alpha and the Mathilda, but you also have that Joy and not too many heroes to kind of slow them down.
Yeah, they pick up the 1-1, which hides where this Joy is going. Because like I said, it could still go to the EXP, and maybe that's what Team Spirit is playing around. So now Vamos, they just have to expect the unexpected, right? And right now we have the behind the IGN for Smooth. Understanding what's up with the name Smooth. So Smooth from his IGN from being praised for his silky smooth Fanny gameplay when he first started MLBB. Let me just say, I played with Smooth before, and he can carry like crazy. Like when he's on EXP, he can 1v5, and I've never had freer games than when I'm playing with Smooth.
It's pretty crazy, right? Especially during his time with MYA, if I remember it, like ages ago. He was known to be a Fanny player, and then just kept on playing Uranus for like 2 seasons straight. But now, completing the draft, Gatot as well as the Irithel, they finally go for the counter matchup. I didn't know why they didn't do it in the previous game, but they already locked their gold laner at that point in time, so it's like, all right, fair enough. But now...
This is nasty, by the way. This Irithel is nasty.
Exactly, because how exactly is Team Spirit supposed to catch it without the Irithel, right? Other than the Irithel, they're going to try and run it down, but there's plenty of heal with Valentina and Gatot as well.
All right, now the final pick is here, and they're picking up the Fredrin. So Fredrin, EXP, and then Joy mid here. So we have seen the Fredrin go up against the Hilda, and the Fredrin is able to stop the Hilda from moving around. So looks like Team Spirit wants to have a 1v1 5 times here. Thank you very much to our panelists, FWZ, as well as Gideon. Now we're going to throw it over to our casters, where what do you guys think about the draft?
As if we didn't have enough interesting laning matchups in the previous game. The coaches give us more. Fredrin in the EXP. And another Joy mid lane for Team Spirit.
Hey, usually for Vren, he has someone stopping him from all these, you know, mad scientist choices, right? Usually Stucky, maybe few for AP Bren. This time he's like, I'm gonna go full Vren. That's a Fredrin Revitalize in the XP. The first of its kind. When was the last time we saw Fredrin XP? That was like back in the MSC 2023 Onyx days when Boots always played it.
Oh, definitely months ago. It has to be at least months ago. Or a year ago, at the very least. For perhaps some of the local regions, they might have seen it a little more recently, but at least for M6, it's the first time we're seeing it. So now it will have to go against this composition of Team Vamos, which is very, very high in mobility, but early game damage. Warlord again on the Valentina.
Whoa.
But Sunset still goes for the clear either way.
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, just relying on the guiding wind, playing with pixels of almost death.
My goodness, what an action-packed early game we're seeing with a lot of early invades as well. But don't forget that the M6 Pass is available from November 11 or November 18 to December 29. Complete all tasks achieved, the level 75. But again, we're back in the game. On shot. Oh, he seems very, very low. But at least Sao and Kid Bomba are there to aid him.
There's no prio in this lane at all for the Fredrin, though, because usually, at least when we see the Fredrin 2, we usually see the concussive blast. This is more of a pure tank Fredrin for Bomba. He wants to just sustain in the lane with the Revitalize and the Brave Smite. That means clear speed is going to be a problem. And when it comes to prio in the XP lane, you kind of need clear speed with how neutral objectives are played. Team Spirit don't really have that. This is a team fighting composition. Purely team fight. If they fall behind, Vamos are just going to siege every turret for free.
Definitely. And for Team Spirit, it seems like you'd have to take them front to back. Like, at least you'll have to get past Kid Bomba. You'd have to get past the one shot. But Team Spirit, on the other hand, they also have ways to access and penetrate Team Vamos and their lineups. But that seems like a problem as well for Sunset Lover. Like, how easy would it be for Sunset Lover to look for targets, to look for a pickoff, or at least to disrupt Team Vamos and their positioning with the Joy in this kind of situation? Because at the very least, since Team Vamos got their hands on the Irithel, this is the type of marksman who makes it hard for you to actually chase after the Irithel, to make it hard for you to look after him. But oh, they go in with the Spear of Alpha.
Oh, he's going to be taunted down, though. Fredrin comes in with the Revitalize too, even with the guiding wind. Chibi follows through. It's first blood. Oh, a big Appraiser's Wrath. But what are you going to do against the two tanks? Sunset Lover, they go back now with the electrifying beats. Oh, Shadow Kill. Vengeance used, guiding wind, terrified. One last shot from Smooth, but Sunset Lover gets away. A disaster for this team fight comp in the early game.
And we aren't seeing Team Spirit play their composition in its most aggressive way possible. Majority of the guiding winds are really to save, interestingly, Sunset Lover from all of the times which he tried to go in and look for the kills against Team Vamos. And I must say, the innate tankiness that Team Vamos has in their hands, even with just the Valentina who decides to constantly put on the pressure and join the skirmishes in the early stages, it's not one of the easiest mid laners to take down. Definitely, this isn't the best situation for Team Spirit, but as far as we know, they're also relying on Hiko to get his items. They're also waiting for the farming, the scaling, and the team fights, as you've mentioned. But if we were to just observe them laning phase, based on their laning phase or one-on-ones, I don't think we'll be expecting that much action from Team Spirit just yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough damage to deal with Vamos right now. Like, I mean, maybe if they get to the late game, yeah, then Mr. Joy's gonna hurt, but yeah, I don't know. Even Hiko's gonna have such a tough time against the Irithel. Yeah. It's always something that, you know, I talk about. I'm a 1-1 main. Whenever 1-1's picked, I'm like, oh, please, please ban the Irithel. They banned the Harith, which I understand why after seeing last game. But the Irithel wasn't banned. They still decided to go for the first pick 1-1 in red side second phase. And yeah, Hiko's definitely going to have a very, very tough time in lane. In team fights, I can see how he can actually get the weakness points and fly by with Bomba getting CC. Let's see, Bomba, 3-man taunt.
Okay, now there are just little exchanges of pokes here and there right before this turtle.
They're grouping up.
But this is the moment Team Spirit has been waiting for, it seems. Kid Bomba, though, he's half HP. So they'll be dancing around this turtle for a while, and a lot of resources are still available, but that's the guiding wind and the energy eruption.
They're going to use the resources on the smooth. AOG coming down, locking Kid Bomba down there. Oh, Sunset Lover very low. Chibi wins out the retro battle again. Defensive Spear of Alpha, Nets trying to run him down. Bomba walking back, and again, this team fight composition has not worked out in favor of Spirit just yet. It's Vamos securing all the neutral objectives.
And how else do they make it work? If Kid Bomba, one of the most important frontliners here for Team Spirit, with just a brief moment of showing himself up against Team Vamos, gets poked that low, but Warlord, though, he will be spotted here by one shot and Sao. So at least they get a trade somehow, but that doesn't mean much. They're not able to necessarily convert it into other necessary objectives just yet.
Yeah, I guess for Spirit, they're really waiting for mid-game at this point, but I'm concerned that Vamos might actually just build a big enough lead to stop that mid-game power spike from being a problem. Spirit are struggling in these individual lanes on top of the fact that the neutral objectives have just not gone their way. This Irithel is bullying 1-1 hard. Sunset Lover cannot lane against the Hilda. Smooth is just having the time of his life up top. Hilda Joy, usually meet him in the jungle in lane. I think Hilda's like, whatever.
and they're forced to send Sunset Lover somewhere else at this moment because you're not necessarily wanting to engage in all these fights. I mean, if it was just like pure sustain, pure tankiness, Team Spirit, I think they have a lot in their lineup, but then it begs the question, where's the damage to? They're just really waiting for it to come, but the moment... Oh, they're waiting for it to come. Look at the damage, though!
That's a bait. Shadow kill. Nets takes the kill. Sunset Lover, nowhere near enough damage to threaten Nets, even with the Vengeance. Nets still had Sprint, he didn't even pop it. He was like, yeah, I want all the smoke.
And I mean, Irithel, it's not like it's the type of marksman that you could just force to stop all those attacks from coming in, right? You'd have to find a way to stop it, but it's okay with them and Smooth. Forces to revitalize.
2-man taunt, one shot already. AOG from Zorn catches two and Smooth bonks him in the head. Sunset Lover walks up. The electrifying beats is just the song of victory so far for Vamos in Game 3.
They're just standing there. They're okay with tanking all the damage from Team Spirit because there's not much. There's not much damage yet from Team Spirit. At the very least, Hiko, he's untouched. But then what now? If every single time Hiko's left alone, or at least two members are left, but there's the stacks taken in from Warlord, but they're still not going to go for the engage. Team Vamos, all the while they're being very aggressive around the map, they're also just making sure that they're able to convert it into the turrets, into map control, and not necessarily into unnecessary team fights that Team Spirit may capitalize on.
3.5k gold lead. That mid-game power spike is looking very close for Team Spirit, but will it even be a power spike is the question that we have now, considering Vamos have maybe outscaled that power spike. I think they have ways to actually deal with everyone. Nets, the gold laner now, 2 levels ahead of Sunset Lover and 2 levels ahead of Bomba. He's still level 8, now finally getting to level 9, but again, all in these individual lanes, it is... Warlord is 2 levels ahead of Sunset. Everybody is so far ahead. I think Hiko and One Shot, are the two... One Shot's actually getting out-farmed by this Hayabusa too. It's just Hiko who's still level at this point, and Sawo, it's a roamer.
And once Team Spirit actually decides for the grouped up team fights, right? And so long as they don't find the nets immediately, and if they just let him go in for those heavy crossbows, I don't think they'll be having such a great time too. Them being grouped up would just allow nets to throw out the damage. Speaking of all the damage, look at that!
Revitalized Bomba, the Sky Piercer goes through all of the healing. That was just, oh man. That was ridiculous damage from Vamos.
And it's not even, we're not even at the 10-minute mark too. We're just slowly approaching the 10-minute mark. But it seems like Team Spirit, they're losing access in their own jungle. Team Vamos might actually go for this Lord. And if you were Team Spirit, very much reliant on the fronts, but they get easily bursted down by Team Vamos. How else would you approach this objective take? One shot will be able to secure his orange buff, but Warlord gets his very own circling eagle. So with this innate tankiness that Team Vamos has in their hands, they're not at the least bit afraid to actually start this Lord.
Smooth is gonna walk up, he doesn't care. If he gets comboed with the Spear of Alpha, he's very happy to tank up that damage. Ooh, big bonk over to Bomba. Warlord just steals the circling eagle. Sunset Lover, not enough damage to take down anyone. Chibi, Shadow kill to the back. Sky Piercer on, now one shot. Whoa, able to dive deep. Nets caught all alone. They were isolated. One shot gets a triple from out of nowhere.
That seemed like a very decisive call once again from Team Spirit. We've seen it twice in this entire series. And even after Team Vamos gets their hands on the Lord, it seems like Team Spirit will be the ones to fully convert it into their much desired map control. And that was a very crucial mistake from Team Vamos. I mean, you would definitely want to group up, but that beautiful Spear of Alpha onto at least 2 or 3 members, that's when the true damage comes in. That's when Team Spirit and their pure confidence, their sheer confidence comes in.
Okay, now they gotta be careful. I guess the mid-game power spike matters a lot. Even with the 3,000 gold lead, Vamos chose to fight, and Spirit were like, we got our items now. We have that power spike we were waiting for. I guess the 10th minute mark was it for Team Spirit. I want to see a replay. What happened? Nets still didn't sprint earlier.
And it seemed like just a very decisive call again after Warlord has already used that circling eagle that he copied away from Sao. It was just Team Spirit going in. They already knew that they had no chances of contesting for that objective. So at the very least, they wanted to get some kills away from Team Vamos. And still, it seems like Team Vamos, though, will try to make use of the sword, but they get the stab. They get the stab to the crossbow. Damn!
Crossbow tang over the nets now. Over to Chibi too. Okay, they get away. The waves are cleared out, and Team Spirit are able to defend the first Lord, keeping 2 of their base turrets alive, only sacrificing the bottom lane. So they're equal in turrets, just like that. 4-4.
And even the gold lead, it's negligible at this point. I mean, at least for other members, it's quite significant. But other than that, so long as they play the team fights, they can go for the protect. They can go for the create space kind of approach. And look at that double circling eagle, but they get to somehow pressure the purple buff from a Team Vamos. So we're seeing a closer fight right now. We're transitioning into the mid-game, and this is the game that Team Spirit wants to play.
Oh yeah, definitely the game they want to play. With that one triple kill, One Shot has equalized his gold deficit against Chibi, who was 1 level ahead of him over the course of the entire game up to that 9th minute. So now that he's equal, they have... Shadow kill. Sky Piercer not enough. Chibi! Caught in the bad spot, Spear of Alpha, circling eagle! One Shot gets the shutdown!
They just waited for the quad shadow! And Sawa was just there to provide the additional sustain, the guiding wind, healing a little bit back of HP.
The timing, it's a Lord!
And that was the perfect timing for Team Spirit, as you've mentioned. One Shot also has his hands on the Winter Crown, so they can make some plays if they want to be more aggressive, but it seems like they're just going for the zone. So One Shot will be focusing on the Lord.
Sunset.
Smooth has some vision. Sunset Lover goes for nets!
With a full die! Sunset Lover with the vengeance again! He priced the hits, now he's jumping back again onto Warlord. It's baiting in everybody. Bomba catching Zorn to cancel on the CC. The AOG gets him out just barely.
Such a close call for Zorn, but he gets back to the base. And Team Spirit regardless of all that, they think it's okay. They still have the Lord marching towards the mid lane. There are no holy defenses anymore for their base turrets. So could this be it for Team Spirit? They're knocking on Team Vamos' base.
Smooth, gonna be locked down. That's all the weakness points already for Hiko. Revitalize used up, that's a big bonk over. Hiko still has a crossbow of tanks. That's gonna be, again, the Shadow Kid to clear out the waves. Chibi jumping back and forth with the quad shadow. Sunset Lover walking up. The base is open now. Spear from one shot again with the winner crown. Now the lockdown once more. Hiko kiting away. That's a winner crown. Used up by Sword, but he's gonna be slashed down and taken out by Hiko's crossbow. Chasing all the way. Sunset gets a killing spree. Chibi, the ninja, followed by Sawo with the circling eagle. Hiko gets the killing spree, and in 14 minutes, Spirit turned the game around. They wipe Vamos out, and they take match point.
Regardless of that attempt from Chibi, there were other waves incoming. And so Team Spirit turned things around and are currently in the lead for this series.
Coach Friend, you mad lad! What was that draft? Wow!
That was the bomba mentality right there. Just sustaining everything, buying enough time, creating enough space. And it seems like that's the way Team Spirit wants to play into the aggression of Team Vamos. They're definitely comfortable with all that. Let's hear from our panel what they have to say now that Team Spirit's leading 2-1.
I agree with you guys. Something happened in that 10-minute where they turned things around. Wancha was able to get a triple kill, and after that, it was all Team Spirit. So that was good by Team Spirit, but this comes to the question. Nets, he had the Irithel, he had the items, but he couldn't execute on it.
Nah, he was overextending. A lot of these fights, one shot living up to his name, was catching him with that Spirit of the Alpha. When honestly, as an Irithel, you shouldn't be that close in the first place. And not to mention you had plenty of peel anyways. A lot of things started to break down very, very quickly for Vamos. But I'm pretty happy with Team Spirit's overall draft, right? The early game is going to be the hardest part of this game. Once they start team fighting, that's when you see them be their strongest.
Yeah, we saw a couple of mistakes too, a couple of greedy plays, right? Chibi, he tried to take down Hiko on that side push play right before the Lord spawned in and was easily picked off, which created the opportunity for them to kind of siege through that mid lane.
He didn't know that there were people there, but at the same time, he should have had this instinct. Like, this 1-1 looks a little bit too comfortable. Something's fishy here. Unfortunately, he couldn't smell the fish. And again, I just got to talk about Nets here. 1, 3, and 3. He had 4 items, but I would say mid-game, he wasn't really able to contribute much in terms of the damage. And then once Joy got the Holy Crystal, there's not much that Nets can do about it.
Absolutely. That's why if Vamos is going to play a composition with such an early lead, they have to keep on pressing the advantage. As soon as they let go of that lead, and more importantly, as soon as they lose that very first Lord, it's not like their wave clear is the best. Both teams generally struggle to deal with waves overall. So that first Lord was a very pivotal point to actually put some permanent currency in their pocket.
And the power of Joy has just been shining for Sunset Lover in the mid lane. I mean, he's just been on point again with that Temporal Rain as well. Very hard to deal with, right? I mean, it's picked up. You don't know if it's going to be in the jungle. You don't know if it's going to be in the mid. And that just shows the versatility from Team Spirit to pick up the pieces and take the advantage in this series.
My only worry is that, like, the Irithel was an amazing pick against what Team Spirit has. So if the Irithel can do it, now I'm scratching my head. What other picks is really there for Nets now?
Honestly, I'm guessing that they're going to go back to more comfort picks all over again. If you're unable to not only win out your lane, which I think he was trying to do his best in doing so. Hiko played a strong game as well with a lot of support from the rest of his team. But once these 1v1s were done, these team fights have just not been looking as clean, right? We saw the early game movements coming in from Vamos specifically, and based on the damage, everybody was getting involved, right? Zorn's creating space, even Smooth was rotating out of his lane really, really quick, knowing that Kid Bomba doesn't really come online until he hits level 4. And in that short period of time, yeah, you're putting back one shot, but once those 2 items come through, once he does have that War Axe ready to go, once he does have that Queen's Wings, it becomes very dangerous to stick around longer than you should, especially once you've used your resources like your ults.
Now, okay, so Vamos, Vamos and Team Spirit, we have a trend here. One Lord looks like it's all it is. 1 or 2 Lords.
Yeah.
Right? The game really doesn't go all that long. So mid-game power spike looks like to be the name of the game. But now we got to look at our MVP, which, by the way, 1-1 was pretty nasty in that one. And this is Hiko piloting it. So the MVP is going over to Hiko on that 1-1. And again, like, he went deathless on that 1-1.
He went deathless, even in a losing matchup in lane, which is very surprising. It means that there was a bit of sacrifice, there was a bit of give and take during the laning phase, but he still hit his item power spikes on the right time, right? He never felt like he was behind. He never felt like he was, completely out of these fights, but he was very intelligent with the way he's going in and out. He's looking for angles to kind of split the formation of Team Vamos away from not only Kid Bomba, but his general frontline. And that's when Sawo can kind of fill in the gaps with the help of the guiding winds.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the Mathilda pickup on top of him already having the tenacity, it's a nasty combination. I mean, he was all over the place in Hiko. What he couldn't get done in the previous match, he was able to get done here for this game. And now, it bids you the question, is Mathilda worth the ban?
Oh, I think Mathilda might just be worth the ban. It's putting a lot of stoppages and more so creating more opportunities than I would have liked to believe, because just look at the way these fights are playing. The front line is sustaining despite being 2 levels down. They're able to come up with very creative angles.
Okay, so for some reason, Vamos didn't have enough damage to do with Team Spirit, and Sunset Lover was actually able to dish out majority of the damage, and then One Shot just came in, and this is the pivotal mistake where yeah, I kind of feel like we're at that part of the tournament where no way will a marksman be all alone in the map. So maybe GB thought like it's just one other guy, so his Ogi Shadow Kill will be able to handle 2 people, but that was basically the whole squad, man.
Yeah, he was banking. I mean, he even picked up that Sky Piercer within like 3 minutes plus in the game, and maybe he was just hoping for that lethality to kind of latch on and deal the additional damage to take down Hiko, but Mr. MVP was able to get the job done and close out the game with that full wipeout. And now we're looking at a 2-1.
I think at this point, there's a couple of things that need to be solved. Number one, this Joy is too annoying of a flex pick to deal with unless you have a direct counter towards it. And I think that, yes, getting the Winter Crown is one way of potentially, disrupting that combination. But I think there needs to be a valid argument of banning it out entirely, because now their backline, and especially Nets, he's struggling, and he's struggling in a way that I wasn't expecting.
This is the best thing about a best of 5 is that adjustments can come in, right? You saw what was the problem, and now it's really on you guys. Do you guys acknowledge it to be a problem, or are you just like, we just made a few mistakes, so it wasn't that big of a deal, right? It's a good thing that after this we are going for a break, so both teams, honestly, Team Spirit as well as Vamos, can really consider it out. So we're gonna go for a short break. After this, we're coming back. Right now, the score is 2-1. One more win, and Team Spirit moves through. We'll see you guys after the break.
ultimate glory starts now.
Mobile Legend M6 スイスウォッチ。Meiji. Hello Panda, semua suka biskuitnya. Biskuitnya enak, isinya lezat, rasa coklat dan strawberry. Hello Panda, semua suka biskuitnya. Biskuitnya enak, isinya lezat, rasa coklat dan strawberry. Hello Panda, biskuit isi yang enak.
Game never over indeed, because right now our best of 5 is still ongoing. But for Team Spirit, they only need one more win to move on forward. While Vamos, they need to climb up. If they lose one more game, that's it. And welcome back. My name is Afel, alongside with me, Statistical, as well as Gideon. And let me just say, for the folks that just came in, honestly, Vamos has been controlling, I would say, the majority of the match, but just one mistake. One mistake is all it takes for Team Spirit to close out a game.
There's a couple of ways we got to look at this, right? First of all, Nets. We know he likes to get a little up close and personal with these mark spins, and I feel like so far Team Spirit has done a great job on trying to get him on something that's not really his nature of play style. You don't really get to see him pick up the pace on these pickups that he's had so far, and I think that's one of the many aspects to kind of look into as we progress through this series.
I mean, the same thing can be said about the draft, right? Both sides. I think the Team Spirit overall is much better at staunching their bleeding every single time the early game goes out of control, because most teams usually fumble, and we saw even in game number 2 where Vamos was able to find the victory, it's all about holding the tempo against their opponents.
Right now, we got to look at both coaches here, where we got to look at how Coach Fran as well as Coach Pubs looks on paper. And this is a good segue because, honestly, throughout the break, that 5-minute break, I kind of thought about it. And I feel like Joy should be banned because it really does shut down Nance. Right now, you guys are looking at the numbers here. When it comes to the first pick rate, Pubs has more of it. Looking at the second pick, looks like Coach Fran really likes that second pick. And when it comes to the win rate, it's more equal, but it's definitely more towards Team Spirit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just by 0.7%, right? And as more games come by, the stats are always going to change. But at the very least, the stuff that we've been seeing from Vren has been extremely interesting, right? I think, you know, even Pobbs has taken a little bit of inspiration previously, but now coming into it, they are established coaches in their own individual regions. And now, as Vren comes into the ECA, he's sharing that knowledge alongside with Team Spirit, and they're executing it very well. You are allowed to sacrifice the early stages of the game. You are allowed to lose lane. As long as you execute the comp perfectly, then you find these small opportunities. And that's the issue that we're seeing here today, because even though second pick hasn't been going too well specifically for Vamos, Team Spirit is utilizing that 45.5%.
Yeah, I mean, every single game so far, Vamos has been first pick, right? And they tried to ban out the Bruno. That one did kind of work in their favor, but other than that, it's just been Team Spirit's ball game, right? You got to find a way to disrupt them. Maybe even try to get on the red side. Maybe that could be the difference to get Net something he's more comfortable on, to deny this Joy from being picked up.
The thing is, I was even considering, what if Chibi just pick up Joy, because Chibi can use the Joy, but looking at the hero picks coming in from Team Spirit, they have a lot of picks that actually counters the Joy, even the EXP Fred. So yeah, I feel like even taking away the Joy is actually quite a risk.
I mean, that's why we haven't seen him actually pick up the Joy initially, right? Previously in the Swiss stage, we saw that if given the opportunity, it's not too surprising for Chibi to actually lock it in pretty early on into the draft. But as we've seen time and time before, Team Spirit has direct counters to the Joy. Not only in that Fredrin, but prior to that, the Belleric as well. Both of which, what this team does especially well is predetermine where we're going to fight, and we know exactly how we want the fight to look like.
And then to hit you with another element, the Mathilda. How do we feel about that so far? I mean, I feel like it's been pretty successful today.
I feel like it really shuts down the Hayabusa. Like, I already feel like that's it, because as much as the Hayabusa damage does, but shield and heal is a little bit too much. If it's just, I don't know, something like a Hylos in the roam, something like a Belleric, it's gonna be difficult, but it's doable. Against the Matilda, it looks like you're about to get it, but then the shield pops up, and then while the shield is there, the healing is gonna come in. It really disrupts your plan, making it so that Chibi alone, that's the problem. Chibi alone can't do it. He needs help from Nets, and Nets has been dealt with the Joy. So it looks like the Matilda is to go up against Chibi, and then the Joy is to go up against Nets. Both damage leaders are not in the fight. How are you going to win?
Yeah. And I think that's, right now, I think that Vamos is trying to figure out the best solution, because they have to invest in one of these players. We've seen games where, as long as Smooth has a winning matchup, maybe we can influence the lane even more. But you got to win 2 out of the 3 matchups, whether it be gold lane, EXP, or even in the jungle. And really the question is, most of the time is that mid trio. Now, so far we've been seeing that at least for Team Spirit, they don't mind losing the early game. They expect Vamos to do a very good job with the way that they rotate. But at the same time, they're also investing in their players like Sunset Lover to give him farm on the opposite side of the map to make sure that he hits that item power spike on time. And same goes for Hiko, even willing to sacrifice jungle just to make sure that he has enough funds in the bank.
It's like Team Spirit's not really giving any room for opportunity for Vamos to make a mistake. I mean, every single time we see one slight mistake, it's a game winner.
One feels like too much. That's the problem. It feels like Vamos making one mistake. It feels like too much of a mistake, right? Because every single time, one mistake makes it so that at least 3 members are taken down. And I feel like even Vamos has realized this. The only thing that we have to see is they realized why, right? What was the mistake and how was it capitalized? Is it a mistake of Vamos, or was it the outplay coming in from Team Spirit? That is something that they have to acknowledge, and if they get it wrong, they're gonna get eliminated. Because just to remind you folks, this is the battle to go further into the tournament. If not, they're absolutely out of the competition. But now we got to look at Turtle Mania here. Chibi is #1, and honestly by quite a lot. 28 turtles so far. The second being Dax with 24. Third being King Kong with 18 turtles so far. So Chibi has been contesting the turtle a lot, and more importantly, he's been winning a lot of those contests.
Oh yeah, he's great at the retribution, but it's also great that he has a support system in the early game to get those turtles. And I think for these first 10 minutes, it's going to be really important for them to maintain that tempo, because we've seen Team Spirit do it again and again and again at completely shoving them down just before that very first Lord.
Now we have Lord Terminator here, where Fabian is #1 alongside with Dax, both having 15 Lords in Turtle, followed up with Sakai's with 12 Lord and Chibi with 11. So, although to be fair, if you look at Vamos' game, again, just 1 or 2 Lords, and it's either win or lose. Vamos really doesn't go to the ultra late game.
Yeah, you got to be careful, right? You want to not overextend, but you also don't want to miss an opportunity by not taking one. And I feel like right now a pitfall for Vamos is the mind games that we're seeing Team Spirit play so far, right? I mean, even when it came to the M-Chat and it came to Team Spirit's players, looking through where they went wrong in some of their previous matches, they never said that they didn't have the talent to pull it off. They said it was more of a mental game that was the issue. And it seems like they found their composure.
Yep, and now coming into the drafting phase, the true test is whether or not Vamos has not broken underneath the pressure. This, again, home crowd, home soil as well. They've got the supporters by them, but pushed against match point, a single mistake is all it could take for them to get eliminated here today.
This is going to be very important, folks, because now we're in the drafting phase. Team Spirit banning out the Suyo as well as the Jushin. Vamos banning out the Fanya as well as the Glue. Now the last ban is on Vamos here. They ban out the Bruno twice now.
And Vamos is red side again.
Blue side. Vamos is blue side.
Oh, blue side again.
I mean, like, to be fair, I'm colorblind, so you could be right.
No, you're right. Vamos is blue side again, which means every single game so far, they have had first pick priority. Do they ban out the Bruno here? Do they go for something like that Joy from Sunset Lover?
Because it looks like this side is blue.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Vamos is going to be first pick, and Team Spirit is going to be second pick. But they ban out the Joy and leave out the Bruno. The real question is whether or not they're going to first pick it this time around, because if they don't, we know for a fact that Hiko more than happy to pick it up.
I mean, like, to be fair, Hiko has not picked it up so far. And Hiko, on an interview, he did say, if he gets the Bruno, it's over. He hasn't shown it just yet. But on an interview, he did say, like, don't give him the Bruno.
Most people don't give him the Bruno, unfortunately.
Well, you can get the best of both worlds, right? I mean, you banned out the Joy, and you still can get the Bruno because you have first pick. So that should definitely be the move from Vamos, but we know it's not a Nets specialty.
I'm just hoping. We're hoping and praying that Nets is going to be able to first pick it this time, unless Team Spirit decides not to and bans it out here and really breaks open the draft.
At night,
your team is
Sicilian. Oh, very clever draft here. So we've seen just Cecilia and Valentina. I'm not counting those tanks. I don't care what you say.
Yep.
I'm not counting those tanks for the Warlord hero pool here. Unless Warlord has something crazy as well, like a Xavier or whatever. But the Bruno has been picked up. Nets wasn't able to get the W in game number 1. Although, to be fair, it was against the Joy. The Joy really did take him down very, very fast.
Yeah, it chunked him really hard, but they are giving Hilda this time over to the side of Team Spirit.
Yeah, now we have behind the IGN for Sao. Sao actually means sapodilla or chiku, a tropical fruit in Bahasa Indonesia. Pretty sure it's Bahasa Malaysia as well, but oh well. Chiku. Sao means chiku?
No.
Sao
really?
Sao means chiku.
Huh. I wasn't expecting it.
the ultimate answer.
It doesn't have as nice of a ring to it, but I get where it's coming from. That's actually really interesting. I would have never expected it, especially for someone with his level of veterancy. But as expected, the Hilda comes out, and they're going to be pairing it up with the Matilda.
Okay, so here's the thing. Hayabusa against the Matilda, not so well. Alpha maybe though, right? Because you can stay in the fight for a little bit longer, where the Hayabusa is like skill-based heroes that has very long cooldowns don't do well against Matilda.
Agreed. There's two ways of taking it. It's either you take the alpha, or maybe even consider like picking up the Suyo once again to kind of fulfill
Suyo
that
bad.
flexibility. But I mean, you're kind of forced in that position, and hopefully, I would imagine that Vamos, and yes, Suyo is banned. If they do decide to go for the alpha, there are still other picks that they can go for. Something a little bit more passive. I would say even a Bane does pretty decently into this matchup as well to sustain and even disengage.
Even the Fredrin can technically walk here. They're going to go in for that show. Oh, the Hayabusa picked up yet again. Not too worried about this Hilda.
I mean, Hilda and Matilda, there's two ways to shut down the Hayabusa. So Vamos has to play this very, very cleanly. And it's to the point where I feel like Chibi just has to play the side lane. They got to give Warlord some kind of damage dealer, which maybe Team Spirit saw through, and that's why they banned out the Sicilian.
This is going to be challenging.
Side lanes.
Meaning like just split push, you know?
If they are going to try and split push here, I feel like they need to break the composition, right? It's all about timings, and I think more so it's priority. Can they shove out these lanes a lot faster than their opponents? With the Hilda, you basically got a winning matchup. So the real question is whether or not EXP, smooth side, can he find something that can actually match up against the Hilda? And as expected, Beatrix is going to get locked in for the side TS, so now they can force out the gold easily. Single ult clears the way if they move out from there.
And now Team Spirit just bends out the Hive, and then what else does Nets have?
They're going to have to dig deep, really, really deep on this one. We could expect, you know, something along the lines of...
Carry?
No, I mean, they've already locked in the Bruno for their side anyways.
What am I thinking about? Oh, sorry, my
no
bad,
worries, we all get one. We all get one. But at this point, the mid lane is just so valuable right now. They could play for a traditional teamfight composition, but now with the Beatrix, it doesn't seem likely. EXP needs a winning matchup, but the Hilda is already there. It's not checkmate just yet, but I feel like Vamos, at this point, getting a Yve might just be the way to go.
Yeah, and maybe Hylos could be a pickup for the side of Vamos. Just considering the show, I mean, again, with the G-Kondo, it's great for setup, but they may need a little bit more in their arsenal to go up against Team Spirit. You know what else they could pick up here? Technically, you could go in for the Fairness in this situation. You can throw an element of sustainability on your side as well, and go with the Hylos to top that off. could be a pretty solidified draft.
I was thinking about that, but then the only and the counterplay would just be picking up Valentina on your side. At the very least, you're able to kind of punish melee heroes coming into that range while still having the Netherrealm ready to go once stolen. It forces an interesting playstyle, but I feel like Vamos, they gotta double down. They've already locked in the Cho. It's single target lockdown. It's all about controlling those waves and making sure that they can visibly see where Team Spirit's motions across the map are gonna look like.
There we go. CC banned off the board for Team Spirit. This is definitely due to that Hilda, right? They don't want to have the easiest way to match that mobility to go up against it and get to the back line with some great pills. So now we got to look at the mid lane matchups, right? Sunset Lover, he's been on fire with the Joy, and this time around, it's taken off the board. What does he run now? Because if he goes in for something like the Eve, there's a lot of answers from Vamos to shut that down.
Yeah, they can still pick up the Gatakacha and the EXP, and then the Valentina coming in from Warlord. Again, unsure if Warlord has a different hero up his sleeve, because against the B-Trace, you kind of need range. You're talking about Eve, Farsas, the likes.
Your team is
and now the Fredrin gets banned as well. Pretty smart ban.
Yep. They want to make sure that they don't have the lockdown, right? What Beatrix really needs right now is a setup for her to land very easy ult. Then you have quick bursts, two synergies, and fights and skirmishes that happen along the riverside.
Bane is still on the table.
That's what I'm thinking of as well. But it doesn't have that setup. You're expecting at that point.
Nolan is there.
Oh, that one's not bad as well.
Yeah. Nolan is up for grabs. We haven't seen too much of Nolan. If we dig in even deeper, something like that Kai could be a very cheesy pick. But yeah, I'm thinking of Nolan. Bane is a good shout out as well. They can delay it for a little bit and just pick up their mid laner. But again, I would say mid lane is kind of good to keep it a secret for now. Never mind, they pick up the Valentina. So not giving it over to Warlord. So now it's on Warlord's hand. Whatever mage she picks up, undoubtedly will give a very good ult towards Sunset Lover.
I'm curious why they want it, because again, I feel like Valentina, super safe here. It could have gone to either one of these teams, but at the very least, it's admitted of we want to hide our jungler first. And the question is, why exactly do you want to hide your jungler? You already know the alpha is pretty much gone. You've banned out the Suyo on your side, so we don't have the fighter-style traditional junglers as we usually expect to. Does that mean that you're going to have to play an assassin on your side of the map and look to kind of split up formations, or more of a setup, which could have been the Akai for all we know?
It's a mind game for Team Spirit right now in the draft up against Vamos. I feel like this is a little bit of a repetitive pattern we've been seeing all day. You are going to see the Khalid picked up, though, for Vamos, and the Vexana to top that off to finalize their draft. And now one more pick for Team Spirit. What do we think it's going to be, right? We have the mid lane matchup. We have the marksman as well, but we have yet to see the jungler in effect. They take out the Alpha. They take out the Fredrin. LaFell talked about some cheese picks. He talked about the Akai possibly rising to the occasion. We mentioned maybe
Nolan.
even a Bane or a Nolan to sneak into the scene to finalize this draft. But Vamos has put him in a tricky situation on limiting the pool.
I mean, they need some kind of dive, because that's what they had with the Joy going up against the Bruno. So it looks like it is going to be the Bane. Yeah, like we talked about it, the Bane does get picked up here. So now Vamos going up against Team Spirit. Again, just to remind everyone, if Team Spirit wins this one, that's it. That's over. Vamos gets eliminated. Thank you very much to both our panelists. And now we're throwing it over to our casters, where potentially this might be the final game of this match.
Our panelists have mentioned it. This is potentially the last game of this series. Welcome to the Casters Desk. It's still Brigida and Mirko bringing you the action. And this sounds like a more holistic approach to drafting from both of the coaches. But still, there are a lot of hero synergies that we have to watch out for. Mathilda Bane, Mathilda Hilda. But Vamos, they have equally the same amount of reach and potential to surprise Team Spirit.
They got a lot of combos too. The Cho should be a way, at least for the first turtle, to lock the Bane down. But later on, it comes down to how One Shot utilizes the Deadly Catch. Because you can cancel Jikundo when you use the Deadly Catch. It comes down to timing.
Yep.
And again, elimination match.
Yes. A lot is at stake, especially for Team Vamos, as they're definitely looking to extend this series. Fighting in their home ground, they definitely would want to proceed in the lower bracket. But will Team Spirit let that happen? One thing I would definitely want to talk about, as mentioned by our panelists, is wait, sword?
An early steal from Zorn.
He didn't even let me finish my sentence.
That's the... I would say that's why a lot of jungles don't go for the retry early, right? But One Shot went for it, wants to go for the fast clear. In the end, it backfired by a lot. Zorn claiming first orange.
So far, a really great start, aside from the fact that even Smooth is able to cut his lane immediately. So Team Vamos, they're playing the early game really well.
Man.
One shot, oh no!
First orange buff and first blood to Team Vamos. And now Team Spirit, they're in a bit of a pickle. Zorn wants to continue this. Bomba walking forward against 3 members. That's the guiding win to get him to safety. But Chibi's already level 4. 2 whole levels ahead. Whoa, Bomba dealing a lot of damage on the Revitalize as well. Shadow kill in towards the camps. Bomba surviving the Curse Blast, not connecting. Smooth! Unable to get the kill to Terrify as well. What? Sawo gets the kill back on Chibi.
I think...
Oh! One shot with a bounce!
Kid Bomba was okay with that. I mean, they went in for the skirmish right inside the bushes, and we know how the passive works. And even towards the bottom lane nets, it seems like he's having a great time up against Hiko. But after that moment, Team Vamos, it seems like their momentum was suddenly halted. They're not as aggressive anymore. Team Spirit, you can't afford to make those mistakes. The panelists have mentioned it earlier. Such expensive mistakes, Team Spirit, they punish it really well.
Oh my goodness. One shot, still not level 4. Chibi level 5, so at least it should still be an advantage to Vamos. Zorn getting chased out by 3 members. Raging Sandstorm from Sunset Lover 2. A bit of an overchase situation for sure there. Zorn definitely happy with that. Raging Sandstorm coming down, now deadly catch as well. One shot taken down, Sawo very low. Chibi! Quad Shadow and the Shurikens. Bomba on Smooth. Just needs a few more hits. That's a great quick sand guard to get him back to safety with Warlord disengaging for them. So in the end, it's still Vamos who get the turtle and survive with that 1.5k gold lead.
And I mean, that's exactly the reason why we said timings are definitely important here for Team Spirit, right? That was the deadly catch. Oh, the Renner's Apathy misses, but then again, that was the deadly catch, which was casted a little bit too early. So Team Vamos, they're just able to go in with the aggression once again, but there's the Way of the Dragon used onto Sawo. So now Team Spirit, it feels like they have to watch out for One Shot. It seems like they have to accompany him in order for him to successfully be able to take his very own objectives, in order for him to farm. Because they're not stopping with the pressure. The mere fact that Smooth has this much of an advantage compared to Kid Bomba in the XP lane, we're seeing a lot of rotations, a lot of perhaps even double lanes, and you want that to happen to Team Spirit, but Sawo, he gets spotted out!
Great combo, Raging Sandstorm, Terrify, Eternal Guard, Zorn Jeet Kundo, and that's a double for Chibi. A great start for Vamos, despite a few mishaps there, back and forth. One shot will only get 2 hits on the turret.
And I like how they're really trying to pick up the pace, right? They're trying to be really fast in terms of rotations. Team Spirit, you would expect with the amount of mobility that they also have, with also Hiko and the composition of their lineup, that Hiko would want to rotate out of his lane a lot more often, just focus on clearing the waves, not entirely picking up a fight against Nets, and potentially even going for the double lanes. But since Nets is also handling the laning pretty well, and Team Vamos, they're really going for the evade, similar to this.
Whoa, Terrify, deadly catch! One shot gets the shutdown again! It's all about the deadly catch timing, and that one was perfect. Bomba walking up, the Terrify to disengage. Turtle number 2 has spawned in the game, and Chibi is down.
Yeah. He won't be there, so Team Spirit, they want to get this turtle for themselves. Kid Bomba zoning 3 members, but will they still go in? They don't have the retribution.
Bomba's cool with taking all that damage. Bomba wants to walk back in. Gets the guiding win as One Shot takes the neutral objective, and we are back to almost dead center. Equal game.
Yes, Hiko's able to breathe too. He's able to attempt to go for the double lanes. He wasn't for like the past 5 minutes. He was just restricted in his own lane, even under the turret even, because like there's just so much rotation, so much pressure coming in from Team Vamos. But that's also one of the advantages we're seeing. That One Shot still goes for the engage with 3-man knockup!
Great kick into the Curse Blast. Nets takes that kill away. And Vamos are now trying to grasp onto that lead. They want to hold it for as long as possible. But that big lead that Chibi had over to One Shot, is no longer present, right? One shot is also level 9. That's a good shot from Hiko too. Nets, though, is doing a very good job right now on the Bruno up against this Beatrix. Zorn, he needs to be on point with his picks.
Every single mistake, a wrong targeting on the way of the Dragon, and especially if it's not well coordinated with the other members of Team Vamos, Team Spirit, they have a lot of ways to punish that. Aside from the Deadly Catch, once it's timed really, really well, there's the Terrify and the AoE ultimates coming in from Hiko. But we'll see how this goes, because Team Vamos, they're starting to group up a lot more often. Checking out the items, there's not much of a difference in terms of the lane-to-lane matchup, but oh wait!
Oh, Bennett's Rage! It's actually going to be turned around. Kid Bomba taken down though, Smooth, able to shot enough damage. Sunset Lover goes over to Terrify. Chibi, the assassin coming in the end to assassinate Sunset Lover. That's a 2-for-1 as the Bane gets a turret up top, but it is traded by Vamos in the bottom lane by Nets, who is still free farming.
Team Spirit, they have to be careful with this. I mean, I think they're sort of willing to accept all the pressure and all those kills that Team Vamos are getting off them, since One Shot, he's really consistent in looking for the trades. He's just trying to always make sure that at least the opposite lanes are shoved and at least a turret is taken down for Team Spirit. But then if they get more and more kills such as this, oh no!
Raging Sandstorm into one shot now, Deadly Catch, but it's Rage! Hiko getting the combo down, Smooth very low, still has a quick Sand Guard, no CC available, Eternal Guard not connecting though. Smooth went away, Sunset Level with a chase, Smooth should fall, unless, no, he will be taken down. Vamos will be happy with the neutral objective trade with One Shot and Smooth.
Smooth and Sword, I'd say they're really doing a great job.
Amazing.
At buying time, distracting Team Spirit, and preventing them from just keeping their head in the game and focusing on the trades that will not allow the lead to grow that big between them and Team Vamos. Each and every time Team Spirit chase after the members of Team Vamos, it's always either a neutral objective or a turret, as we're seeing right now. So Team Spirit, they're starting to feel that they're really behind. 2K goal lead for Team Vamos. And imagine, Chibi doesn't even have his hands on the Sky Piercer just yet. They're just really this much ahead and focusing on the damage.
My question is, does Chibi even want to go Sky Piercer this game? We saw how volatile both these teams can play just last game, and Chibi had a Sky Piercer. He had a lot of stacks on that Sky Piercer, and when he died, when he got shut down, he had to sell it. That became a very useless item towards the late game. So I think for Chibi, it's safer to go for normal items, right? Just go for the Elphic Roar, Hunter Strike, maybe a BOD as well. Zorn has a great position, but gets spotted out in the bush. It's the Pixel Brush now. Hayabusa up top, Chibi still just farming. And based on the items that I'm seeing, yeah, Chibi is not going for Sky Piercer.
Yeah, he's not. They're just going for sheer aggression here and damage. Both Chibi and Nets are doing really well. Nets hasn't even been picked off by Team Spirit just yet. Not to say that they have the pick-off capabilities, but oh, the way of the Dragon, there you go!
Raging Sandstorm, though, only connecting on towards Mr. Bamba. Raging Sandstorm from Sunset Lover! And Hiko gets the Nibiru's Passion. Bamba still surviving. Oh, Sawo with the save. Wow, Warlord down. They want to go for the chase, it seems. Hiko, no flicker, has to be careful. Team Spirit, they got that fight turned around.
Yeah, clutch flask of the Oasis. Sawo even using the flicker to ensure that Kid Bomba is within range. So now it seems like they will be accompanying each other a lot more often, trying to make use of the range of their capabilities to take some objectives away from Team Vamos, but they have to be wary of Zorn. Zorn's been on point on his targeting in terms of the way of the Dragon, but oh, there's the Bennett Rage already used!
Retreat for one shot, the Deadly Catch catches on the Chibi. What happened to Smooth? Evaporated. Eternal Guard connecting on a Bomba. It will be a kill over. Smooth for Bomba, but Spirit get the Lord. Sunset Lover always just scheming in these bushes.
Yeah, and it seems like this is the way to play around this Bane lineup that Team Spirit has, right? If you just overextend a little bit, they definitely have the tools to be able to answer back. Now they have the Lord in their hands. They will try to gain a bit more access towards Team Vamos map. And the flicker is still in cooldown for Zorn, so they could potentially be a little bit more aggressive this time around. One thing to note, if you let Hiko and One Shot within range of a turret, they will definitely seek to take it down.
What turret, right?
Which turret?
That's That's what Spirit will be asking every single time if they have the way, or wave rather, to siege in. They'll just be like, turret? What turret? It's gone. That's a minion to us. Even without minions, maybe. There you go.
Oh my god.
Turret tier 1 in the mid lane falling down as well. Team Spirit, they have match point. Lafelt spoke about this. There is no room for error for Team Vamos.
Yeah. Right.
This is an elimination match.
This is. And Soren, it seems like he still wants to look for the targets. They have a lot of information, but Team Spirit, they're all grouped up. So who would you want to target in this kind of situation? They don't want to let anyone behind. They don't want to let Hiko become an easy target anymore. And Kid Bomba, he's just going for it. Poking Soren down really low. They have another wave in the bottom lane.
Boom.
And there's just one inner turret left for Team Vamos at this point.
The siege composition is ridiculous. So much poke from Hiko in one shot. Oh, Wind of Nature from Spirit. So the big problem, I would say, for Vamos now, another big problem to add onto the list, is the fact that there's a Wind of Nature for Hiko.
Yeah.
Most of the members, if not all the members from Vamos who can dive to threaten Hiko are all physical damage. Nets, Chibi, Smooth. It'll come down to Warlord to get the last hit, and on Vexana, that's tough.
Yep. And this is the type of gameplay that Hiko introduced to us even. The first time they were able to respond to the Bruno and the Siege comp, Team Spirit were just able to play so naturally with the Beatrix. Picking up an immediate Malefic gun, and that's the Eternal Guard gone for Team Vamos. They know it too. 26 seconds before the next Lord, but prior to that, it seems like they want to go for a play. They're scouting for Chibi, but does Chibi know this?
I don't know. They don't see anyone on the map, and they do see Hiko down below, so it should be a sign. Nets picks up the Wind of Nature as well, so he will have similar amounts of outplay ability to Hiko. That's a great sign for Vamos. Signs of life, I would say, in this match point position for Team Spirit. 1.7k gold lead in the mid game. Comes down to a big fight.
Yep, Soren is looking for a target here. He's waiting, but they will be able to spot him down. Oh, they use the Circling Eagle first onto Soren, and they spot JB too.
Eternal Guard unable to connect. Smooth trying to go for the flank there, and Team Spirit are just playing it so well with the bottom lane slow pushing. Team Spirit will just take their time on this Lord.
Yeah, Smooth trying to look for an angle too. But Team Spirit, they know it. Oh, that's a thing, once again!
He gets Hiko. The deadly catch comes down. There's a Wind of Nature. Hiko still able to kite away. Smooth gonna be locked down. Chibi gets the retribution, but two members have fallen. Sunset with a chase. Nets with a worldie. That's the bounce of the Crab Claw Cannon. Nets sliding tackle. Hiko with the dash forward. Nets able to escape the guiding wind. Gets him closer, and Nets escapes. Now, it's the Lord that will be dealt with by Team Spirit. They will be able to clear this Lord super quick. With two members down, can they get more?
He doesn't even walk past the tier 2 turret. That's just how quick Team Spirit are able to deal with it. And they are looking to get even this sole remaining inner turret for Team Vamos. Oh, our Wilderness misses. But they take out almost all turrets away from Team Vamos.
This is a problem now. That was almost perfect for Vamos. They got the kick on Hiko yet, but it still did not get a kill. They didn't get Hiko. So what does it take to take Hiko down? They just have too much peel. The deadly catch, the Valentina Terrify, the Mathilda.
Yep.
Look at this.
Yep, Nets was focusing on Hiko the entire time, but the heal was there, even the Wind of Nature. And they were able to just punish the members who were trying to go in for the backlines, namely Soren and Smooth. If Team Vamos were just a little bit closer, if they tried to go for the more committed follow-up, that could have been a wipeout too for Team Spirit.
Definitely.
So it's nice to see that Team Vamos, they're being very cautious with their positionings as well. Knowing that Team Spirit is one of the teams you have to watch out for in terms of the team fighting. So one unsuccessful play, it seems like the immediate call is to back off, especially if you know that you are at a disadvantage. But speaking of a disadvantage, it is Smooth. Oh!
Doesn't get clipped by the Bennett's Rage. Sawa will get that Circling Eagle. Hayabusa spotted up top. Team Spirit will just set up for a slow push towards Vamos.
They're the ones who want to pressure the lanes for Team Spirit this time around. Because Team Spirit, at the very least, you need someone to always be with Hiko. Soren is always on the lookout for Hiko. Like, he is the prime target here for Team Vamos. So they definitely wouldn't want him to be isolated. And it's good for them that not once has Hiko been taken down. He also has the Rose Gold Meteor alongside the Wind of Nature. So he's really focusing on survivability too. He wants to make sure that he doesn't fall because Hiko's role in this lineup is super important. Like, I know one shot, he's also capable of just going in for the siege, but he's the one that they should have the least access to in terms of Team Vamos.
It's just really tough to go for the catch there, right? Most of the catch potential from Vamos, I mean, all of it almost, is on Zorn. The Raging Sandstorm has been very easy to dodge, at least for Team Spirit.
Yep.
I don't know, I guess they need to try to like go in together, right? They need to try to bait in some of these flickers out, because if they still have flicker plus that Mathilda guiding win, it's just so tough to go for one shot, to go for Beatrix even. And man, I guess for Vamos, the advantage that they have is not a team fight in a 5v5, but it's on in the side lane. CS though, they don't care. They're gonna go and try to blitz it.
Nah, they really want to go for the team fights. Oh, Zorn will be forced it down.
Smooth. Oh, Raging Sandstorm. Oh, flickers out that. Oh my crap, Claw Cannon. Oh my god, that was almost a one-shot by one-shot.
That wasn't even a full-on team fight by two of these teams, but the amount of poke, the amount of burst damage, it's enough to zone Team Vamos away from the Lord, and it seems like they won't gain any access towards it. Team Spirit, that was a clean take on the Lord.
That was beautiful, a phenomenal take for Team Spirit, and now all questions are back to Vamos. Can they defend? It's a Vexana, it's a Bruno. They do have ways to deal with the waves, but then you look at this composition from Spirit. They got a Beatrix and a Bane. We were talking about the siege potential. They could use a deadly catch to try to get the turret, but if they do, that's a wasted resource in the team fight.
Yes.
Vamos, their big condition, I would say, is to bait out the deadly catch and then go for the pickoff.
Yep, and Team Spirit, they will be waiting for that Lord. This isn't the evolved Lord just yet. We are still 17 minutes into the game, but this is still approaching the 18-minute mark. We know the death timers are deadly for both of these teams, whoever will fall. And now they will gain access towards the base of Team Vamos. Could this be it for Team Spirit?
Smooth goes to the Raging Sandstorm. The Defense Rage to zone them away. The deadly catch has been used up. Zorn, this is an angle to attack. Bomba, Smooth loses the immortality. Bomba's on the turret right now. Smooth is down! The Lord taken down, dealt with the Terrify and the Wishing Lantern. Over to Hiko. Nets gets the Rose Gold. One last attempt.
Oh my gosh. They're spamming the recalls. Team Vamos, is this it for the hometown villains?
Zorn able to get in the way of the dragon, but he gets the kick back towards the team. Hiko with a nature. Nets gunned down, but the Mirror's Passion still able to slide tackle forward. Hiko gets caught by the Eternal Guard. Nets is fighting for dear life. Dashing in again. Hiko very low. Hiko going for it, but teammate shuts it down. And it will be a defense for Vamos. They stay alive at the M6 World Championship.
Warlord focusing down onto Hiko, preserving the Eternal Guard and showing us how it's done. Team Vamos, they prolong this game. And Team Spirit, we have to see what happened. Let's look in for that instant replay. They definitely wanted to go in for the siege. There was a switch up, going in for the Bennett even for Hiko here. But there was just such a well-timed Eternal Guard and that defense from Nets as well. And the follow-up from Chibi, that cleanup, that was immaculate for Team Vamos.
That was so well played. Nets, and Chibi. Great ultimate by Warlord, like you said. If it wasn't for that Eternal Guard, I think Hiko would have actually gotten enough space to maybe not kill Nets, but maybe kill the base. He was locked in.
He was just so focused on it. We mentioned the switch up. So now Team Spirit, they'll have to back off once again. And we're probably waiting for the next objective, which is this time around, an Evolved Lord.
Yeah.
So you'd want to accompany this if you were Team Spirit. That's where your strengths lie too. It's really in your siege potential. But for Team Vamos, would they want to just burst it down the same way? Because I feel like if you were Team Vamos in this situation, Hero is definitely one way to approach it. But it seems like it's been unsuccessful for them. You've mentioned the countless times the Way of the Dragon has even landed onto Hiko. But the follow-up seems to just be absent for Team Vamos. So how will they deal with this time around?
They're so grouped up, it hasn't even really been the follow. Oh no, Zorn! Able to dash out. Kid Bomba was walking forward, one shot. Raging Sandstorm onto two. No follow-up, Eternal Guard. He goes to able to flicker out. Liberty's Passion, Smooth flickers out as well. Now one shot, no immortality. Chibi with the Retribution saves the game once again.
And that was just consecutive layering of crowd control to ensure that one shot will not find his way to the retribution, to securing the Lord for Team Vamos. Now they're able to breathe, and they get another chance at fighting back. Team Spirit, fortunately for them, they also have a lot of wave clear in their lineup. They have the Deadly Catch again, they have the Bennett's Rage, the Nibiru's Passion. What will their plan be really to just wait for this Lord Siege up against Team Vamos? It seems like they're still looking for the members. It seems like they're still trying to scout them out.
Hey, TS gotta be careful here. If they make the wrong move, that's an evolved Lord. Even one member left standing can end the game. Heck, even I think if both of them get wiped out, the Lord can end the game.
He can do it alone.
He can.
Honestly. So they will be a little bit more careful, but Sao and Kid Bomba still trying to get some information.
Okay.
It's Guiding Wind. Okay, so they will try to head back. They need to be safe in terms of positioning this time around. Team Vamos, they're the ones who will potentially be a little bit more aggressive. Sorn has the Flicker even, so he can go in for a Flicker knock-up on the Jeet Kune Do or even a Way of the Dragon if he wants to. So Team Spirit, they have to be careful this time.
Flicker on Hiko, 26 seconds. That's the real resource that they want to try to, bait out here for Vamos. Oh, almost. Great Terrifying, great Disengage. Circling Eagle already baited out the mid lane. There's going to be another wave coming down. The tier 2 should fall as Vamos take their time to build up this Evolved Lord. I think it'll be a base turret take for Vamos.
Yep. Now they will eventually be the ones to pressure. That's the Conceal. Sword goes in, but he gets revealed. And still, they are able to take down the base turret. That's the Raging Sandstorm, which missed from Smooth. Will Team Spirit try to go for it? Because they'll just be focusing on defending the Lord for now. What a close fight. We're beyond 20 minutes in this game, so I think the statement, you cannot afford to make a mistake, matters all the more now that the death timers are probably taking more around 60 seconds if you fall in this particular situation.
Wow. One shot. Topping the damage dealt ranking here. 71,758. Did he build full damage? Not even. No, he has a brute force breastplate. That's just a crab claw cannon for you. This is why Leo loves the Bane so much. Zorn's going to be spotted out. So what's good about Vamos' turret take up top is the fact that they got the far lane, right? So at least the minion waves will not be slow pushing constantly towards Vamos. That will mean that Vamos can actually play with it. They also have the Hayabusa, so I would personally think that the Hayabusa will be staying up top for a while to try to threaten a split push.
Yep. And they'll have to deal with that. And for Team Spirit, who always wants to group up, that'll be a problem. But now that they find GB away, they seem like they want to go in for the fight!
Turn a guard, Bomba's here able to actually dash away from it. The wave up top is still in equilibrium, no Flicker on Warlord. Immortality both taken down. In the back, there's a Shadow Kill over. GB's still able to survive, Warlord is down. Hiko getting them down slowly but surely. Revitalized, GB, can he run away? He buys the Immortality. Hiko has the Flicker. That's a conceal defensively. Warlord is down. What is the decision by Spirit?
Team Spirit might just want to go for the Lord, but Smooth is there as well. He's not letting them out of sight, but Sunset Lover knows that that is the plan for Team Vamos. Will they go for the burst down? Chibi is still here. He also has the Retribution, but Kid Bomba, he says, let's go for Smooth!
Chibi in the back with a Shadow Kill again. Zorn jumping in, Raging Sandstorm. Eagle places the Wind of Nature perfectly. Zorn is down. Now another to add onto the death tally. Team Spirit on the Evolved Lord. 24 minutes in. They should be able to take this. And Vamos, there's just one question again that we've been asking the entire game. Can they defend?
Nets hasn't fallen, not once in this entire game. And they have to repeat it once more for this upcoming defense. Warlord has already returned to the game, but Sword is not here to add on to the pressure of Team Spirit to make them very cautious of their positioning. And there goes the Circling Eagle once again onto Warlord and the Bennett's Rage, but they're able to dodge it either way. But there's still the Evolved Lord marching in the mid lane.
This might be premature abilities to be using very early in the siege, but we will see. Evolved Lord in the mid lane. Massive one, Eternal Guard catches Warlord. Raging Sandstorm with the flanker. Hiko still in the back, hiding away. Chibi will try to go for it. Team Spirit will bid adios to Vamos.
One shot from the side. the siege potential and the pride of EECA will reign, and they defend their spot in the competition. No room for mistakes indeed if you're up against Team Spirit.
The Spirit might have wavered in their decider bracket match, but it was not gone. Spirit will make their way into the next round of the lower brackets. What a phenomenal performance by Spirit.
Unfortunately, Team Vamos, their journey ends here, but we have to recall what happened in that game together with our panel.
Out of all the games in that match, that last one, like, if you were to get out of this competition, that's a good game from Vamos.
If there was any team that we're going to lose to, at least it was Spirit, because they put on a show. Both sides played an incredible game here. Congratulations to Team Spirit as they move on to the next stage, an exciting time for their region.
A major step for EECA, and also, this is kind of giving some nostalgia, right? This is kind of feeling like M5. Back when we got to see Davis Foltz go up against Homeboys.
Yep, a good time that was. But man, it does break my heart to see Vamos lose in that sense. But at least they put up everything on the table, making sure there's nothing to regret at the end of that game.
Yep, hopefully they'll keep on trucking and actually improve as a team. Because I believe coming into M6, a lot of doubts were thrown over to Vamos, but they've really showed up. They tried their best, only up until this point. But again, now we just got to see what happens in the future. Speaking of which, looks like Rose is already on stage. So we're going to throw it over to Rose alongside with Vamos and then eventually Team Spirit.
These anti-heroes had showed heroism towards their journey to be greater than ever. It is unfortunate that their journey will end today. However, ladies and gentlemen, in a count of 3, let us give them one final round of applause. In 3, 2, 1, everybody, this is Team Vamos. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you guys come back stronger next year. And the team that has just won this elimination match. Give it up for Team Spirit, Kid Bomba, and One Shot. Hello, how are you?
Good.
You're feeling good? Were you nervous just now?
Not really. Maybe a little bit in the first game.
I think the last game was more nerve-wracking for me.
Not really. We understood what we had to do to win.
Oh, you guys understood what you guys had to do to win. Maybe you can share with me a little bit what you meant by that?
So One Shot lost the first minute, right?
Yes.
And usually it's impossible to come back games like this, but we still did it, so yeah.
Okay, Kid Bomba, I have a question for you. We know that most of these players were the reason why you guys had an early MSC exit, right?
Right.
How does it feel getting vengeance on the international stage once again?
Good, but we will face them many more times, so yeah, that's it. We will just face them many more times, you know, so it's just one win. I think the score now is 2-2. So it's like best of 5, the next one. Who wins the next one?
Who wins the next one will win the best of 5. Okay, now One Shot, hello. Welcome back to the international stage. We know the last time you were in the international stage was M2.
Yes.
How different is it this time to be playing in M6?
Ну, стало менее волнительно. Я просто полагаюсь на свою игру, на игру своей команды. И, в принципе, все.
So I don't feel nervous. I just play with my teammates, and you know, I feel good. Overall, I feel good. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Seeing you guys play, seeing you guys dominate like that, I would feel good too if I were in your shoes. Like, a huge congratulations. You guys just survived another elimination match. But let's go back to the games, okay? Kid Bomba, we see that you guys have been throwing curveball after curveballs because you guys are coming up with very interesting drafts. Joy mid lane, all these kind of stuff. Why do you guys come up with these kind of drafts, and how?
We just try it in scrims, and then if it works, we play it in the tournament, stuff like that.
Whose idea is it usually?
Our coach's idea, sometimes mine, sometimes it's Sun's idea, sometimes it's picks that we already used, you know. For example, Joy, Sun's already played in MCC Grand Finals when we qualified for M5, and it was played back then. Then when it got buffed, we just tried it on mid, it worked, so we just kept trying it.
Yeah, I agree. It does work. I don't think Team Vamos could counter that. Now, will we see any more interesting picks in weirder lanes?
No idea. Let's see.
Let's see. Now, let's talk about more of the draft, yes? We know that this unorthodox draft comes from you guys as a team itself. Now, is this a EECA specialty or just Team Spirit itself?
I'm not sure. I guess it's just us, you know, we have a deep hero pool and then we just use it to be able to overthrow the enemy.
Oh, like having a big hero pool really does play a big part, huh?
Does.
It does. Now, One Shot, you're the only non-Southeast Asian team left in M6. What does this mean for you guys?
Мы хотим показать, что наш регион очень сильный, и что с нами надо считаться.
I want to prove that our region is pretty strong, so we continue the playing better and better, you know.
So you guys want to prove that EECA is not something to look down on, right? That's what he's trying to say. Okay, maybe Kid Bomba, you could give a final word to the fans who has come and support you guys.
Thank you for supporting us, even though we dropped through the lower bracket. We will keep trying our best, and our next game is us Falcons, so watch that match as well, and that's just about it. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh. There we go. The love from Team Spirit is there. Thank you very much. And guys, congratulations on continuing your journey in the knockout stage. And with that, let's throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this match up against Team Vamos.
And now we got to talk about what happened in that game. And in my mind, it just keeps on replaying the moment Sao got Warlord. After that, everything started crumbling down.
It was such a great angle as well. Like an incredible angle because he was circling around smooth initially and honestly, not too bad of an option. Get rid of the Raging Sandstorm, then you don't really have to worry too much about, you know, securing this lore, which time and time again, One Shot was kind of struggling, which is why Kid Bomba was laughing a little bit at him up on stage, knowing like, dude, you just gotta hit that. We need this lore to end the game.
A curveball indeed, but overall a great game and a major victory for the EECA region and Team Spirit to move on forward into M6. What phenomenal gameplay we just seen.
Now, honestly, I want to look at the items a little bit longer, especially for Hiko, because this is a bit of a different build coming in from Hiko. The one that I really want people to pay attention to is actually that Houseclaw, because having that Houseclaw, having that Wind of Nature as well, and before this even had the Rose Gold Meteor, that's a lot of defense for a marksman, where the Houseclaw gives crit, but more importantly, gives that lifesteal. And having that BOD, the Blade of Despair, every single basic attack is going to hurt quite a lot because that's how Beatrix's passive works. And having the Houseclaw just makes it so that even though Zorn was able to catch Hiko, what are you going to do about it? Like, once Hiko is free from the Way of the Dragon, he can lifesteal back up. If he went for a 100 strike build, then he might have died.
Yeah, let's not forget about the consistency of his item swaps as well. Like, he is fast on it. He doesn't miss so far.
Yeah, and then the Malefic Gun to top it off. I mean, with the Bruno, everybody picking up the Malefic Gun super fast. You got the range to match with it, and then a little bit more versatility. And the Beatrix